Wait, why are we? Why? Oh yeah.
No, I'm starting something.
This is a slow clap, like in high school.
We made it. The haters didn't believe us. The lovers loved us. And everyone else said they will never continue. Some would call them the haters as well. I would agree.
You work on this monologue the
Hold
last
on.
99 episodes.
AOI is saying the sound is super delayed. That's not good.
Really?
Hello.
I just listened to it.
How could that be?
Hold on.
No, it's not on YouTube.
It's not on YouTube. Is it a Twitch issue? Who knows? But we can't recreate that special moment of that clap ever again.
No, but sorry about that.
We are here. Sorry, AOI. Maybe check YouTube.
He's been watching on Twitch for like the last 10 years.
I say, out of everyone,
Come on, man.
he's ever popped in the YouTube.
Well, no, this is actually our first live podcast.
Well, I know, but
So-
like he watches on Twitch. That's where he watches.
He's probably flipping off the screen right now.
So he said, "How
He's
about
like, what did he say to me?
this?" Says we're playing Tomb Raider remastered. Did you know that?
Yeah, he hasn't updated in
I
what
haven't
we've
updated
been.
in like 14
It says
years.
on Twitch we're just chatting.
It's fine on Twitch.
When I first started,
They
it said
probably
you
think
were
we're
on
doing
Death
some like
Stranding.
hot tub stream.
Ooh.
We've done a hot tub stream, but not right now.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
could bring
This
a
is
hot
our
tub.
first live podcast.
First live podcast.
And we can do it. We
Yes.
can do it.
Who's got a hot tub?
No,
We now know we can do live.
We can
do
go
live.
live.
Oh, I thought we were doing the hot tub.
We could
Yeah.
take
It only
we
took
could
100
take a
months
we
to
could
get
take
live.
a call.
We could.
We're not gonna do it tonight,
Dude,
We're not doing it
let's
tonight.
but
make
we
a
could
phone
take a call. We
Let's
could take
make
a call
prank call.
because I've got the ability to take a call to my phone
Yeah.
and run it through the Bluetooth.
Do prank calls still work?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I mean, you could call
In
it. If they pick
2025,
it. If
do
someone
like-
picks up,
I would need your
Your call.
headphones because otherwise only I could hear it. That's the
how
problem.
radio
We'd have to
works.
figure that.
Radio does it, and it works all the time for them.
But none of you are wearing headphones like a radio station, so you won't hear the caller.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying that.
That's what I know we can do. I'm just saying we didn't prep for it.
well, welcome to the podcast. This is, I don't know if you could tell or not. This is the 100th one.
The big 1-0.
The big 1-0.
Oh, 100.
The 1-0. 10. We're past that. But welcome. I am Dweebo, a.k.a. Zach, a.k.a. the 100th one. I am joined by the audio engineer extraordinaire, Travis.
What up? What up?
We are joined by the PC expert, the PC fan,
Me or is that you?
You.
Alex.
Big Windows guy.
We are joined by someone that will start the podcast only to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Milliseconds later, Jacob.
What up, guys? Glad you're
And we are joined by the Wingstop DoorDasher himself, Kenny.
What's up?
Well, welcome. This is our first live podcast. How do you like it so far? It's not over yet. And we've got some cool things to talk about. And we have a topic to talk about that I think really, as I was thinking, what should be our topic? What should we talk about? What is going to happen on the 100th podcast? Are we going to kill someone? I struck that off the list. I don't want to kill anybody.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I did think about it.
YouTube might get us there.
That, yeah, demonetized. No murder. But I was thinking, hey, throughout our whole podcast, what has been going on? What have we talked about? I mean, the first episode we watched earlier today was me having my foot on the Xbox.
Yep.
Because our ideal when we first started the podcast was whoever had fricked up that month, we would have that console, either be a Nintendo console or PlayStation console, and it would be a footrest.
And we
That-
forgot about that
that-
idea after.
We did it one or two times. I think one time we did it. But in all of that, I think the subject, and we'll get into that in a second. I just want to check in with everybody. But the subject of the 100th podcast, I think, would be the console wars. So we'll get to that in a second. But I want to check in with some of our people you haven't seen in a while, Alex and Kenny, and see what you guys are playing. What are you up to? Catch us up. And it's been 100 podcasts. So just, can you condense that in like 2 minutes real quick? Like, what have you been up to?
Kenny, you can go first. I think yours is pretty short, right?
What have I been up to? Grinding Pokemon Pocket Ranked,
Oh wow.
which is actually really fun. They've released like 4 sets now of cards, and the decks are getting bigger decks. Those are always great. And
Keep talking, I'm gonna move
the
this over.
strategy that the meta changes like with every deck release, and then they released a deck the day they dropped rank, and so it's really cool seeing like the different approaches you can take, and I'm having a really good time with that. Honestly, that's like been the thing that's been consistent for me the last few months. I just replayed The Last of Us 1 remastered on PS5. This is the first time playing the remaster. It is phenomenal.
It's a good one.
That's the prequel to the best game ever made.
I will say I have come around quite a bit on 2. So what got me started is
Join the cult. Wow, I'm proud of you, Kenny.
what got me started is watching. I was scrolling through TikTok and somebody was live streaming themselves playing through 2, and I was like, I've never come back to this after I beat it. Like I've never revisited it.
Yeah.
And it left a really sour taste in my mouth when I first played it. It's just a dark game, and it was heavy. And I was like, I don't think I can ever revisit this again. And then after watching somebody play through it, I was like, man, I have a more fresh perspective on this, and I really think I want to play it. But in order to do so, I think I'm going to replay the remake of 1. So I'll be picking up 2 here in the next couple weeks probably, but other than that, still collecting Pokemon cards, trying to find them if I can.
We did some hangouts where you were opening. We were both opening
Hey, I ripped
cards for a while.
I ripped some packs yesterday. The new set came out.
Yeah.
There was a full art Articuno card that I wanted so bad,
Nice.
and I pulled it on my second to last pack.
Nice.
I went nuts.
Big Rip
'Cause-
Kenny.
Yep.
Big rep, Kenny.
Big rip. Oh, I am part of a TikTok community now too with a guy. His name is BB Chillin. Check him out. He's a pocket
BB
streamer,
Oh yeah.
but he also does Nuzlocks and stuff. And I've been really hanging out in his community a lot lately and talking about Pokemon cards and
Yeah.
playing Pocket and stuff. That's where I've learned a lot of like my strategies and stuff is following that guy's community. But he named his very first starter and his very first Nuzlocke after me, and it almost died, and it survived by 1 HP and then landed a critical hit. So I have earned the nickname in that community, Big Crit Kenny.
Big Crit
Big
Kenny.
Crit
I saw
Kenny.
on you also do music TikTok stuff now, and I
Yeah.
saw people commenting Big Crit Kenny, and I was like, dude,
Yeah.
that's a great name. Wouldn't that?
Big
That's
Crit
been
Kenny.
cool. Like that whole community's been great.
That's great.
But yeah, they've kind of been supporting me in my music. That's another thing I've started, but that's not really game related. But
Hey, we do music here.
yeah.
We do music here. We do all sorts.
Well, my first cover will be on Spotify in 13 days,
Nice.
April 11th. You can follow me on TikTok or Instagram at Kenny Gabbard Music.
I thought it was going to be Big Crit Kenny.
Crit Kenny.
You can comment at Big Crit Kenny. But no, that's been really cool. Like I didn't have TikTok for a long time. I got it specifically because I feel like you get more motion as a creator with TikTok than anywhere else. And it's been really cool. Like even though I'm like doing it for music, like finding other communities and stuff on there and getting involved, and then like you support that community and then they in turn support you. It's been really cool.
You know, there's the Mom Talk, the Mormon ladies.
I have
All the
no idea
Mormon
what you're
ladies,
talking
they
about.
do Mom Talk. You don't even know about this?
I know.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, number
My
one.
For You page is
There's a
gone.
there's a crazy Netflix documentary Jess was watching.
Oh, is this what the...
all the Mormon moms that were like living these crazy lifestyles, and they had Mom Talk. I was gonna say we should start Dad Talk.
Dad talk?
We should start Dad Talk.
I thought you were talking about those the 2 ladies that just went to jail for like the
That may-
12-year-old wasn't getting
Oh
food
no,
and
that's it.
water.
That was actually
That's a-
very bad. These women were
That's
just
not Mom
like
Talk.
it was like
That-
all these.
that's
It was
like
like all
actual
these
Mom Talk.
Mormon couples that were like sleeping with each other and stuff. But they were like acting like they're like you know really.
Wait, was that like Secret Lives
Yes,
of Mormon Wives?
yes, yes.
I saw one episode of
Yeah,
that
yeah,
on
you know what I'm
Hulu,
talking about.
and I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
This
'cause-
is crazy.
Well, I just kept laughing like they were getting in trouble for all this stuff and like all these scandals, and then like this girl was just like, "Will Mom Talk survive this?" And I always say that to just like, "Oh my God, will Mom Talk survive this?"
I don't
Will
think Mom
Mom
Talk...
Talk survive this?
I don't think Mom Talk can survive this.
I show videos to my wife right before we go to sleep. I'm like, hey, I got some TikToks for you. And I know what she actually likes, which is like babies or funny animals or whatever. But then I'm like, look what my For You page. I was like, this is all my For You page. And it's just the weirdest people with like 20 views, and she always goes, I never see these. Like the way the algorithm's like, this guy's messed up, he'll watch. I always get videos that are under 100 like views, but it's like the craziest people in society, people that's like,
You are Mr. 100. You're the gatekeeper for
They're
them
like,
to get to 100 views.
If they go past 100, it's if you
Yeah.
like it or
I
not.
literally feel like TikTok's like, this guy is like deep in the mines, like he is digging for gold. Is this good or is this crazy? Like I was showing her this video of this girl who was like, I don't even know if she was Irish. She was trying to do an Irish accent. She was trying to be a pirate. And she cosplays as a pirate. She's like, I would have done and do that. And she talked for like 3 minutes, and she was like, you got to turn this off because like you couldn't understand a word, and her like it had subtitles, but the subtitles were in Chinese.
Oh, what the heck?
And people in the comments like, it needs English subtitles. Like, I can't even hear what English you're saying, which you are probably saying, but that was just a little example of my For You page. But cool, Big Crit Kenny. Alex, what should we check out? What is cool right now?
It's
What's
gonna be hard to follow up, man. You're much more busy than I assumed. I thought that
I thought you were a fucking loser.
that came out of me being a douche. But I thought that you had just completely stepped away from games and stuff like that. I had no idea.
I really don't have a lot of time to sit down in front of a console or
That's
TV
fair.
and but like Pokemon Pocket, I can sit there while I'm like working and it's on my phone and doesn't
That's
require.
what he plays when he's working.
My as I've gotten older,
Great.
like it's just hard for me to unless I can sit down and give something a couple hours.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to. And right now, like all my attention is invested in like music and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I
that,
knew you were
so.
doing music and like camping and stuff and fishing. So that's what I
Yeah.
assumed that you were
You
doing.
should play
But
Firewatch.
While I'm camping, laying in my
Camping.
tent, I'm playing Pokemon
I
Pocket.
can definitely do that.
He's on the grind then. Let's see. So we want to talk about what I'm playing first.
Yeah, let's start there. What do you recommend people check out?
Okay, so if you haven't checked it out yet, lately I've been playing some Doom Eternal, which I had played 2020 it came out, I think, and I finished it but bounced off it. Didn't really like it, and then with the Doom: The Dark Ages on the horizon coming pretty soon, I realized that I had not played the 2 DLC episodes for Doom Eternal. And I just remember that being a really mechanically dense game, and so I went ahead and just restarted. I wiped my save file and started over from the beginning, and I've been playing that again, and I beat the campaign and the 2 DLCs, and that was really fun, very challenging.
You're ready for Doom Dark Ages? Is it Dark Ages?
It is the Dark Ages, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, I think the first time I played it, it's a headspace thing, and
'Cause it's more platformer, right? Because you're using the grappling hook and you're doing some.
There were platforming sections, and and then the last DLC they introduced like a mechanic of using the they call it the meat hook,
Yeah.
which is that grappling hook on the shotgun
Mm-hmm.
to like grapple a point suspended in midair and then whip around and do kind of chain that kind of stuff together. But I didn't like it the first time through, and I think it was just a headspace thing at the time. I just really wasn't in the mood for it, I guess. But yeah, this time was really fun, and I'm glad that I went back and gave it another chance. Apart from that, I also am playing through The Last of Us 2 with my wife.
How far are you at?
Not very far. We just I don't know if I should say because I don't.
Oh yeah, you don't want to spoil maybe.
spoilers, but not very far. We have gotten past the downtown Atlanta, or excuse me, Seattle area.
Okay.
And so far, I don't know if I like it as much as 1 because we talked about this before, but 1 is just I think it's like a master class in narrative storytelling. And,
Yeah.
and again, I don't know what all I can say about 2 without giving away some major spoilers, but I don't know if it just resonates with me as well as the first game did, especially after having a child of my own. And again, I'm trying my best to avoid spoilers, but yeah, we're playing that, and we're enjoying it so far. It's definitely a very visceral game.
Yeah.
And the first one was no different. I mean, maybe to a lesser degree, but yeah, 2 is a wild ride so far.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the gameplay mechanics overall? Like, because that was one of the things I think 2 did better. Was I thought that the actual gameplay, combat, everything like that, I thought was way better. The AI was way smarter in 2 than in 1.
I think to a degree, yeah. I could see where 2 stands on the shoulders of 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest difference is the ability to go prone and go through tall grass.
It almost feels like Metal Gear at points.
Yeah.
Almost. It very much did.
I snuck around and did all
Lots of
sorts
sneaking.
fun stuff you couldn't really do in 1.
Yeah.
And then like there are times where like you'll have a guy or a group of like 3 or 4 guys trying to get you, and you'll shoot one, and then their friend will be like, Toby, no!
the dog, Max.
No, not Tony.
Not the dog.
And then there was an instance last night we were playing. And it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I wiped this party of like 4 guys, but there's one survivor left they're disabled and they can't fight back, and they're begging for their life. And I'm just like, what do we do? I don't know what to do here. Should I shoot him or should I leave him?
That is a core concept of this game.
Yeah, it's
You feel
gritty.
every kill.
It's gritty. These people have like, it feels like they have lives and personalities and struggles of their own. And yeah, and they're not necessarily all bad guys. They're just kind of swept up in the wake of this whole conflict that you're in. And it's rough, but it's good. It's very compelling. Also playing Ghost of Tsushima, so I got that on PS5. That's the first time I've played that.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I kind of slept on the PS4 generation as a whole. I didn't play Last of Us 2. I didn't play Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't play Horizon Zero Dawn or any of those kind of like first party titles. But yeah, I guess I'm playing catch up now. I'm playing that, and
Nice.
it's very fun. I'm having a lot of fun with that.
And we got Last of Us season 2 coming out soon. The show.
I actually haven't watched the show, so I may need to check that out.
That was really good. I think you would like it. Some stuff it does 1-to-1 with the game,
Yeah.
and then other stuff it veers off, and it's better for it
Yeah.
because certain things are better in a game when you're actively like doing it. And if they were just to do that and copy paste that to the show, it would have sucked.
Yeah.
But they noticed where those were, and it's like, wow, they really utilized like how to make a TV show. So I thought that was really good. But AOI, Kenny said Kenny should become a streamer. A lot of people who don't game alone anymore discover the love for games again when they stream for a community.
Time.
Don't have the time for that.
Don't have the
Wish I
time,
did.
AOI.
It's not that I don't love games. It's just I don't find myself having the time. I've been better, honestly, this year. Like, we played Marvel Rivals when it came out. It's more about, like, carving out the time. Like, if people will reach out and they're like, hey, we have a group together that's doing this and I'm free, like, I'll usually play. But it's...
Is it harder to get to single-player games?
Yeah, and also, like, it really takes a good single-player game to get me to want to, like, sit down and invest my time. Like, I know The Last of Us, and I never played the remastered, or the remake on PS5. And I went to go pick it up thinking it'd be, like, $20, and it's, like, $70 at GameStop. And I was like, okay, this must have like really held its value for a reason, and so I picked it back up, and I loved it.
They did an excellent job. On
Yeah,
that,
they did
that
a
remake.
phenomenal job.
Yeah, it was
doing
stuff
that.
like when I was seeing screenshots at the beginning of like what was changed on this, and like they changed entire buildings, and like it just aesthetically was better decision making.
But you know me,
design
like
and stuff that they
how
did.
much like Zelda's my favorite franchise of all time. I never finished Tears of the Kingdom. Like I'm at the I've done 3 out of 4 of the temples, and I love it, but I picked it up and I'm like, I go in this temple and they're like, oh, we want you to build this thing.
Yeah.
I can see where I'm supposed to go and I know what they want me to do. I just don't want to do it. If it feels grindy and feels like work, I just really don't have much of a desire to like lock into it. And so I will beat that eventually. But even like my favorite game franchise of all time, I'm 75% through the game and I've been playing it for 2 years.
That game it's similar to Majora's Mask. That's the only thing I can compare it to, because Majora's Mask has that, hey, you got to do time and you got to go back in time. It's like, what? You know what I mean? I think that cut off a certain amount of the fans. So I don't blame people being kind of like confused.
It's not
about
even that. It's just like...
Well, you have to be in the mood for it, because when I first started, I was like, I don't feel like building stuff.
Yep.
And I was kind of burnt. I almost fell off. And then like something finally clicked and I adored that game. But it took me, I was really
When
like
it
against
first
it.
came out,
I was against it for a while. I mean, we were the ones against it when it was you and Devin and stuff was up here and stuff. And I was like, me and you were on the
We're
same
throwing
page.
cold water on it, kind of like.
Well, like the beginning of the game, you like all those glyphs are on the ground, and you're like, it's like, oh, I want to see what they've done to the world, and you go explore, and then you find the depths, and you're like, holy crap, what's down here? And then But eventually you get to a point where you just kind of feel overwhelmed.
Where I'm at, yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I don't know. And I don't want to look stuff up because I like the whole thing I loved about Breath of the Wild was the discovery element of it. But this like took that and cranked it to 12 with much less like, hey, if you want this, here's where you should probably like the general area you should go to. They just throw you in this world that now has 3 layers to it and just say, here you go figure it out. And some stuff you can do, but like some stuff I just kind of want to play the story.
Yeah.
I want to know the story. And so I'm going to skip a lot of the tedious like building teeter-totter so I can catapult into a shrine.
Something
and
does get better. Something gets better with that building thing. I don't know how far you are.
I got the thing.
Oh, okay.
I got that thing
that helps.
almost instantaneously because I was like, I can't. I was like, there has to be an easier way to do this, and I looked it up because I just didn't want to go through the grind of building.
I will say I
everything.
also used the dupe glitch. I don't know if you guys.
Oh, I used the crap out of
Yeah.
the dupe glitch.
Yeah.
Patch that out though, didn't it?
I didn't ever update.
I didn't update.
I never updated it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is a really.
Update, hashtag never update.
Yeah.
Didn't you emulate?
No, on Tears of the Kingdom I play because I wanted to play handheld on that, so I didn't emulate that.
I emulated. I fired that game up.
I emulated. I put the little ROM
Get 'em,
things
Iwata.
in. I did it because that way my stuff didn't break. I got to do whatever I wanted to build. I'm
He
not
modded
grinding
it up.
anything. I want to be fun.
I didn't take it to that degree, but
Nah.
I fired it up on the Switch. I opened my copy of the game, turned it on, got to the first platform. The shadows and frame tearing and frame dipping made me motion sick instantaneously. You're on that island with the yellow grass and the trees, bro. It looked like a Wii game.
I'm waiting for the Switch too.
Yeah.
To really jump back in.
I think
I
that's us
stopped
right now.
after 2 dungeons and got the thing in the depths, and I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta just wait.
Yeah, and so I just but
It was
that's-
also just the map and all the musical cues. It was too copy paste from Breath of the Wild for me. I needed something more fresh.
They do some interesting stuff of revisiting some of those characters and stuff, but I get it. Like it's not that Breath of the Wild was that fresh hit of everything.
Yeah.
And I think Tears of the Kingdom doesn't have that at all. But if you can dig a little bit, and you might find it, I don't know, or you just might not be into it. But for me, I dug a little bit more, and I was like, ooh, this is actually, I like this more than Breath of the Wild.
I'll
but
finish it.
I can see
it's
why,
just,
but- It's divisive. I think it's a divisive entry.
if it feels if
into-
a game
into that.
feels like a chore to me, I'm not gonna. When we started playing Vampire Survivors, I loved that game because I could just fire it up, shut my brain off, and get all those dopamine hits
Even
from
that-
getting
that
all those
game
like
rules.
Even that
Yeah.
we developed a bit of tedium in the later parts though when you're
when you're trying to get achievements.
you're trying to get achievements. It's like I know the only way to actually beat Red Death is to get the Metaglio pieces and the Infinite Corridor and stuff like that. So.
But if you don't care about that, then you just fire that thing up and you just play for 15 minutes or 5 minutes or however long it is, and you're just killing bad guys. You get to clock out, and that's what I look for in a game nowadays. Really, is like, how much can I just like disassociate from everything else and just enjoy this game and it not feel like working. So it's not that I've lost my passion for games. It's just like I like things that let me have fun and don't make me work all the time. A lot of games nowadays, I feel like they feel like work.
Well, speaking of fun, I want to move to another thing that happened this month. Death Stranding 2 trailer
Dude,
came out.
Awesome.
That was awesome. What happens is Kojima will go away for years on stuff, and then he'll come back with this new thing or new announcement, and it just blows you away, like every single time. So he edited this trailer himself, and of course, like designing this all himself, but with his team. But yeah, what'd you guys think? It was 10 minutes long. It didn't feel like 10 minutes because you're just hit with thing after thing after thing after thing. But I loved it, and there's some commentary stuff on there. There's some crazy stuff happening. I don't know what this game is about. At first, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this trailer, and Travis was like, you should watch it. Yeah. And I'm glad I did. And I started immediately seeing like spoilers for what was in that trailer. So I was like, I just got to dip in and do it. But it just it always reminds me, like, this is why I love games. This is, like you were saying, it's like it reignited you. But no, I loved it. There's some commentary stuff. There's stuff, people that look like Snake at the end.
There's a guy at the beginning and the end. He looks just like Solid Snake.
Seems
Seems like he's going to be a main character.
What is his name? Luca starts with an L.
Lucas or something.
Lucas or something. But
Yeah.
new character, don't know who that is.
And they like set up a lot of his story in the first part of the trailer, and then the end of the trailer, he was going around and he put on. Have you seen the trailer?
No,
Oh,
He put on. Are you care if I say this?
I don't care.
He like has a gun and stuff, and he's got like the slick back hair, and he puts on a headband and then starts going leading these commandos. Like it looks like he's gonna
it's
address.
clearly Solid Snake.
I think
yeah.
the commentary you're alluding to is he's gonna kind of address with this game, like, well, everybody wanted me to make another Metal Gear game with the last game, and so in this game they kind of talk about there's gonna be ropes and sticks, or he's kind of saying like there's gonna be gun stuff and there's gonna be like gathering and transporting stuff. And that guy seems like he's going to represent like the more action, tactical.
I never finished one. Again, about games that feel like work. It was literally work. You're
I don't-
delivering
I-
stuff.
yeah.
And it came out at a terrible time with COVID, and
It's-
like
Watch the
I was
cutscenes.
already depressed, and like that game just made me feel more
Yeah.
depressed. So I bought the collector's edition.
I felt like
Kojima.
it was like hiking challenges. It didn't feel like work to me.
No.
Everybody's got their
I felt like
own.
Last of Us, because Last of Us Part 2 and that came out during COVID. Last of Us Part 2 did want me. I had to shut that down some nights.
Yeah, I did too.
Because that was too close to what was going on. I was like, I'm just doing the same thing. Like, there's parts of Last of Us Part 2 where it's like, put on this mask or whatever. There's a part where you have to put on a mask or whatever. But I was like, what are we doing? But Death Stranding at least had some hope to it because it was like, let's reconnect. You know what I mean? Stuff happened
Yeah.
or whatever. So it was almost like fixing COVID in a way,
Yeah.
fixing the pandemic.
I
but-
cannot wait for this game.
Yeah.
I thought the trailer was incredible. It reminded me of the Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain trailer that came
Yeah.
out and just kind of lit my imagination
I mean, you
up.
got the little puppet guy.
Yeah.
You got a lady. I didn't even notice this the first time. The lady has two left hands.
Yeah, she's got two left hands.
Sorry, what?
At the beginning of the trailer, or
She's like,
there's a doctor
she's like
towards the
doing
end.
like operation on somebody.
And she puts up her hand.
She's scrubbing up, and she does this, and both her hands are left hands.
Oh, isn't it the woman from?
It's
It's
crazy.
another
dude.
actress,
from
like,
Jedi.
famous actress.
Jedi
Yeah,
games?
yeah.
Maybe, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
cast in the game is phenomenal. Like,
Oh yeah.
I love the cast. I don't know. How fast can I beat Death
I'm with
Stranding?
you because like I would get up to the section, the first hour or two where you have to take the body up to
Yeah.
the
Yep.
crematorium. It's like this is awesome and really spooky, and I'm done. And I fall
Yep,
off it
that's
immediately.
exactly. I did that twice.
And, like I could see the production value is through the roof.
Yeah.
I can tell that's going to be a great
It's definitely a meditative game because you're literally fighting with the environment. It's the only, I mean, that's what they call it, a strain
Yeah,
type
I-
game. You're fighting with the environment, so it's like, how do I get? You see a hill and you're like, oh shoot.
Like a
Whereas another
hill
game,
is
you
a
would-
problem, or a creek is a problem, and
enemy.
when you solve
Yeah.
it, it's like, oh, I figured out how to get across there. It's like, to me, it felt like hiking, and like you have to figure this out. You have to get from point A to
eventually,
point B.
if you're linked online or whatever, that was the other strength about it. Is almost Dark Souls of like, hey, somebody left a ladder here.
Yeah, I was
And
going to
then
ask
you
about
can
that.
leave-
Like the world is persistent.
It's
so
persistent and it
Yeah.
grows.
bridge
so
somebody left behind. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you can like have these like transports and these fast ways to get through that people leave, and you build stuff as it goes on. So, I didn't feel like there was replay value for me. I didn't want to like
Yeah.
deliver packages back and forth, but it was definitely a meditative like experience kind of game for me. But this one seems to have more fighting. They showed the collector's edition. It's a big giant. Looks like Metal Gear Rex.
You should
Freaking-
play it.
freaking
That's
thing.
yeah.
Finish it.
Let's race to beat it.
I will say it never, no game has ever hit me with that much like cool lore ever,
Yeah,
or movie or TV show has never hit me with that
Very
much. Like,
creative world building.
that beginning just was a whiplash of like I've never explored all this stuff, and they're walking around not trying to breathe, and these things are trying to. It's like this is a whole different world, and it's really cool. So that comes out in June. Man, I think that was going to be a fall release, and I think more people are thinking that GTA is going to be fall.
Yeah.
And because it's like June, that's soon. You know what I mean? Like we got this 10-minute trailer, and
We
then
could
June.
get that, GTA 6, and Half-Life 3 all this year, and Switch stuff, do stuff.
I just looked
Let's
up
see what
the
it
how
is.
long to beat on Death Stranding.
How long is it?
Probably 40.
28 hours or something.
40 and a half hours.
Yeah.
All play styles
So-
average is 58 hours.
Is that the normal game, or is that like
That's
some
the-
weird
it says
director's cut thing?
it
That game
says
didn't take me
Death
40
Stranding.
hours.
It took me about 30, 40, yeah.
Completion is 113 hours. Main plus side quest 60 hours.
Just what
All
about
play
main
styles
quest?
58.
Main quest.
Main story 40 and a half hours.
I'm surprised.
It was pretty long. It was pretty long.
But not all. I will say, not to spoil, not all of it is package stuff. Like there are long sequences later in the game that are gunplay and
Yeah.
like just different. Like there's sections in that game that are different gameplay, very different gameplay.
a
So
lot of it is delivering Amazon packages, but but there are some stuff they try to Those parts are kind of scary. You're trying to kind of hide around these little beings. It's kind of weird, but yeah. And then they showed the Metal Gear Rex. It looks just like Rex.
It looks like Metal Gear
People
Rex.
showed the picture and it's just like Rex in the trailer of like this thing that binds with black goo.
April keeps asking me, is Konami going to sue Kojima over this?
I think they're actually in good standings. They actually said they're like, hey, we're more than willing to collaborate if he wants to in the future. We just know he's busy. So I don't think they would even say that if they haven't cleared something up.
I would be surprised if they did pursue that, because I think, if anything, that would just engender more ill will against Konami.
Yeah.
Especially in the face of Metal Gear Delta coming out.
Something
Well, and they're
happened
not
to
trying to replace Metal Gear or say this is Metal Gear.
Yeah.
They're just alluding to it and doing parallels and stuff. There's nothing illegal. They would have a really hard time.
Yeah.
Very hard
It's
time.
pretty on the nose, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But Death Stranding. But we had another two. And that was when we started this podcast, we showed earlier in our freaking 10-hour plus stream. We started episode 1 talking about the Switch 1 reveal, and that was 8 years ago. Switch 2, we finally have next week is going to be the Switch 2 like big keynote kind of thing. They showed a video. I think they had to get ahead of some of those leaks, and they showed a video. We got to see Mario Kart 9. We got to see some weird mouse stuff. But next week, all will be revealed. What are you looking for? What's the price point? What is the thoughts on this thing?
It's your typical. It's gonna be $3.99 to maybe even. I'd be very shocked if it's $100 console.
I don't think it'll be 5. Yeah.
$3.99 is probably the sweet spot. It's gonna be your typical. This isn't as powerful as you think it would be, but it's here.
Yeah, I think you're
We
getting.
finally get 1080p.
Huh?
1080p finally.
I think you're getting 1080p
yeah, that's all I
handheld,
want.
and I think docked. You're probably getting something between 1080p and 2K.
Yeah.
You're not getting 2K.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if you're getting 2K docked.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if.
Well, it might do what the Switch did, which is it's really 720p, but they up-res it when you put it in the dock, right? Isn't that what
The dock does a little bit of boosting. This supposedly does more boosting.
Yeah. And my biggest issue, I'm just gonna say I've been emulating the last like 4 years of Switch games because they ran under 30 frames. Because I like 60 frames.
They're unplayable.
But if you can get 30 frames, I'm okay. I can deal with Nintendo games. But they would go under 30, and I'm like, we're not doing that. And then 720p on 4K TV looks like mush. It looks like Lego blocks and mush. But so that's why I had to at least get 1080p. So if Switch 2, if you can give me 1080p, I'm fine. If I'm docked and I can get 1080p on a 4K, I'm actually fine. If you can get 2K and 4K, neat.
I think it's just the optimization of it. Like, it's the fact that, like, I'm going to play a game, and I don't care if it's 1080p. I don't care if it's 720p.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just want it to run well. I'm so sick.
Yeah, we gotta get above
so
30.
sick of just having bad running games from
Yeah.
Nintendo when Nintendo does make great games.
Yeah.
AOI said AI upscale to 2K.
That I do think that is the future with like graphics cards too. Is
Feels like
what
Nintendo's generation 1 down the road. They're never on the cutting edge.
AI, yeah.
Yeah.
Never.
They don't care to be.
It'd be great if you're right, AOI. But
Yeah.
Well, I mean, these are NVIDIA SoCs they're using in the Switch 2, right?
there's no reason that they can't do it.
I think DLS has to be in it.
Yeah, I think
Well,
Think so?
they're using the Tegra chip still.
But
Tegra
someone was
chip.
saying, wasn't people saying like looking into this that they could do DLSS
Well,
if
that-
they like turn that on?
That's a NVIDIA, like,
Nintendo was like, can you take that out? The thing that makes it go
I
fire.
think they would probably be able to do all that stuff. Frame gen and
I-
DLAA and DLSS. And
My
all that.
position is not that they couldn't or not that they can't. It's that Nintendo fundamentally, anything that is new in the last 5 years, they don't touch it when they make hardware. They
Yeah.
go cheap with things that are so well known
Yeah.
to minimize risk. They've just done it
Yeah.
for 3 decades.
And to make it cheaper for
Yeah.
like kids and it be
Yeah.
more of a
They
product.
didn't
for,
even
like,
embrace
children and stuff.
CDs like in the mid 90s. Like it's just
they're
what
still
they
using
do.
cartridges.
They're using carts now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cartridges are faster than optical media, though.
no, I understand. I'm just saying, like, Nintendo will never do what you expect them to do, and they won't do what's logical. So, like, at the end of the day,
I did like it this last direct. I think we talked about way earlier in the stream, but the cards, those I
that's
thought that I
cool.
was like, that is a good trade off for what is going to happen with all.
That should be
when-
standard.
Yeah.
I think Xbox, PlayStation, you own a game, you should have a little physical record of your license of that game not just in your dashboard where you can
Yeah.
launch it, but like a repository of the licenses you own through their shop, and whether you can trade them or not, whatever.
If they're really wanting us to go down the road, which they are, they're dragging me and I'm kicking and screaming to no physical, like give us the Nintendo thing where we can rent out the game or whatever to somebody else and loan it out. But otherwise, like, I'm gonna be the last one off the Titanic. I'm gonna be with the violinist with
I'm
the
gonna be
physical
with you.
games and stuff.
I feel like that is crazy because that's such a commitment saying, like, we're okay with losing sales. And, like, it's a great consumer mindset because, like, people are like, oh, we don't have to buy the game now. Someone else can buy it and rent it to us later. So I can see why Sony and Xbox are hesitant because it's like, that's money. Like,
Yeah.
digital sales is a big chunk of money nowadays. I mean, look at GameStop.
Yeah.
Look at all the other retailers. They're not doing well.
I'm with you guys though. Like the physical is the hill upon which I die.
Yeah.
Look at, I don't know if you've shown this room off to everybody in its current state, but like look at all this cool stuff on the shelf.
Yeah, and I own it. Like I can pull it up
Yeah.
at any time. I don't have to wait. And like servers can't connect,
Yeah.
or the licensing. We weren't able to get the Third Eye Blind song from Tony Hawk or something. Sorry, you can't play this anymore.
I will
We deleted it
say-
from your Steam library. Sorry that the license because that's been happening lately. They've been deleting it straight from people's libraries and stuff. It's like
I will say, like in the generations where the internet became more ubiquitous, like the 360 PS3 era, physical media became more of a potential paperweight.
yeah,
Because it seems like they can, retroactively strip you of
yeah,
content or licenses, or hey, the full binary is not even on the disc.
yeah,
So yeah, but it still looks cool on the shelf. So
yeah, yeah. But physical forever. But it sounds like we have carts on Switch too, so at least we know there. I would be surprised. I think PS6 and the next Xbox, if it's going to be a toaster or what it's going to be. I don't know what it's going to look like the next one, but
Yeah.
This is an Xbox.
that is an Xbox. That's
Is
true.
AOI asking if the Switch will be OLED or LED?
I think it's LED.
Yeah, no, they're
I
not
think the
doing
Switch
OLED.
2 Pro will be OLED because it's just more expensive
Brother,
to make an OLED. And
They have never in their history made a Pro console.
well, they made the
What
OLED.
what is the Switch OLED? There
The
is a
OLED's
Switch
not a
OLED.
Pro.
It's not more powerful. It just
It's
has
just
the
an
OLED.
OLED.
bigger
Better screen.
Yeah,
There
What
was
am I missing? Is the question, will it be an OLED or not?
yeah.
Or
Why would
LCD.
Why would the Switch 2 not be an OLED screen?
Save money.
more
Save
expensive.
money.
Save
It's
money.
cheaper to produce.
Okay.
So they're gonna do.
They'll make a Switch 2
and then they
OLED
release a
later
Switch
on.
2 that has
Yeah.
an OLED.
Do you think they'll
screen
launch
that's
with
more
Switch 2 and Switch 2 OLED?
Not
No.
no.
They'll make that
No,
down the
wait.
line, I think, to make more money.
To answer
But
your
Yeah.
question though about price though, so I've been reading a lot about how GPU manufacturers are getting hit with like aluminum tariffs
Yeah.
and silicon tariffs.
yeah,
Have you guys factored that into your estimation?
So I'm with them that I think 400 is the sweet spot, but with all the tariff stuff going on with like with electronic stuff, I was like, maybe they have to compromise. They can't do 500, but I think they'll take the hit and do 450, 449 type deal.
Nintendo don't lose money on hardware.
They do not.
They never lose money.
But
on
in
hardware.
this environment, what are they
Nah.
going to do?
It's
I
just
don't-
a
I don't-
business
You
principle.
You think they'll just do 500?
If
If it
that's what,
came to
if
it,
that's
they
what they
would.
have to do to make money,
I
will.
think
would
that's
do
also why they like to work on chips a generation behind so that they can build
That's
up
true,
stock.
too.
I bet
Yeah.
that they're not buying the chips right now that are going to be under tariff to produce these.
Yeah.
They've been stockpiling
That's
the
true,
last
too.
2 years.
You smart Nintendo.
Some things
They're
do is
frugal.
really
They're an
smart.
extremely frugal company. Like
Start
they,
spending. I want to see them come out and with chains that you
the
can.
last
spin,
time they
you know what I
spent,
mean? Like,
they made out the GameCube, and people were like, "No, this thing sucks."
yeah, but yeah, Switch 2. We'll see what happens. What do you think the price is going to be? Let us know.
are you guys
Below.
are you guys in for day one for Switch 2?
I don't think I am. I'll probably get one eventually, just for my little boy, so he and I can play Mario when he's a little older. But
They're gonna have to really wow me, for one. For two, I really don't think I'll get one until they force my hand with a game that I really want to play. I do want to play Metroid Prime, but that's not a console seller for me.
Yeah, I gotta see what's
especially
launching with it.
how it looked. It looks like a Switch
But they can
game.
use the psychic powers to open doors.
Yeah, it looks like a Wii U / Switch game.
I just finished Metroid Prime Remastered, and then I watched that trailer the next day. I was like, it's like
Same.
Metroid Prime Remastered.
Yeah.
It's like
The other
same
thing is
game.
too, the last time I tried to play those remasters on the Wii, they made me sick. Because I was trying to move the Wiimote around.
Yeah.
I never played the one on Switch. I have
Yeah.
it, never opened it, but maybe I'll try and dive into that and see how I feel. But Yeah, they'll have to really. They'll have to put out a system seller. Maybe the Pokemon.
Mainline Mario.
Mainline Mario would get me.
Mainline Mario is what I'm waiting on. Like, I'm thinking that's probably going to be a launch title. It's time. It's been forever. If it is like that, I'm day one. Yeah, I'm
I'm day
thinking
one
new
because I've
Mario.
got all these Switch games that are like Breath of the
Yeah.
Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. I'm in the middle of Xenoblade Chronicles X. That I'm
But
ready
do
for
you
the
think
60
they're going
frames.
to like? Do you think that they will?
Oh, if they aren't doing an upgrade, I will. But I do think they will because last year at E3, not E3, whatever it was, there was news people and they're like, we can say that we saw Nintendo's next console running stuff. We didn't see the console, but we saw running stuff. And they did a weird. It was like they let reporters talk about it. They said they showed us Breath of the Wild running on it. And my brain was like, number one, that's so weird. Like, Tears of the Kingdom's out. Why wouldn't they show that? But number two, if they're just showing you Breath of the Wild running on the hardware, and like they did a gameplay demo, I was like, if it's not a performance boost, what are you showing them?
Yeah.
Showing them gameplay of Breath of the
That makes
Wild here.
sense.
So ever since then, and they were like, yeah, and it was running really good, and it was like immediate loading, and I was like, oh, they're gonna upgrade some of this stuff. So.
That makes sense.
If that's the case, I'll get it. If they're not making Xenoblade Chronicles X run better, I'm probably not getting a
I
Switch
just
2
don't
day
know,
one.
like, if I feel justified in giving them a console purchase to fix games that should have already been running well enough.
That's what the Switch was from the Wii U.
I think the Switch was. Let's get the game.
I'm not giving them anything. I would just be buying it because I'm wanting it for that that use.
That makes
you know?
sense. I just that's not a motivating factor for me to buy
Yeah.
the Switch 2.
Yeah.
You give me a new Zelda, that's probably when I'm gonna, because chances are I'm gonna want the special edition console because they make 10 Switches that
Yeah,
are
that
all
is the
different.
thing. You don't have to be in a hurry with
Yeah,
them. If,
I'm
if you
not
want a
in a hurry.
specialty one, you can just wait.
Yeah, so we'll see. They'd really have to blow me away at this direct or whatever they're calling
Next
it.
week, we will figure out
Find out.
if we're throwing down our money for this.
They
But
launched a cool app.
I hope, you know what? I hope everybody stays not excited because then I don't have to fight through people for pre-orders.
yeah,
like,
stay unexcited.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know unless they have supply chain issues. I don't know that you're gonna have a hard time. getting them.
I think there'll
I
be
feel
issues.
like they say that every single console gen, and Nintendo set out was like, we're gonna make sure not ever. Well, then there was something that came out the other day. That Reset Era thread was like, they're gonna have supply issues. Like all these suppliers, like Best Buy or whatever, was talking behind the scenes is like, they're saying they're ramping on this stuff up. Like we're gonna have issues if
When
like if
pre-orders
there's
go
demand
live, you give me the green light, you'll have one.
there. Okay,
Okay.
I will get one.
Kenny's
Really?
on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get
tell
one.
Kenny. Okay, there we go. That
All right.
works.
When you watch
Yeah.
the thing, if you say I'm in,
You'll get me one.
I will make sure you have one.
I appreciate that. Okay, sweet.
Kenny's our man on.
He's the man on the
Kenny's
mission. I
on the boat.
appreciate that.
Hey,
Awesome.
I had Pokemon cards to open yesterday.
All right.
Not
all
a lot
right.
of people did.
Kenny, I will take you up on that.
Nice.
I got you.
That's great.
But was there anything else pressing we wanted to talk about before we get on? I think an
We had a couple
interesting
questions.
subject? Oh, we did. Okay.
Brent asked, "Are we releasing a behind-the-scenes documentary for 100 episodes?"
Oh wow! Like talk about how the making of. Well, I'll give you the skinny right quick. Episode 1, we didn't have good audio. We set up a camera.
1 through 60.
On a
We're not
tripod.
making a documentary. We did earlier watch some of the one of the early episodes,
Yeah.
but I mean, for a minute we could reminisce for a second about the different eras. We did the era at our apartment,
with
our
one
room,
with one goofy
with
mic that was
one
far
mic,
away.
and that was an
Bad
interesting era. Then we went to your house, your old house. Was that immediately
Yes.
after?
Yeah, that
We did a series of episodes at your old house in
We
your
started
office.
when I got. I got the house
Yep, I
2018.
remember
And that was that was good. You know, it was different because it
It was
was
smaller.
It
smaller.
was in my
Um,
small game room.
That was when you got your hair dyed yellow,
Orange.
orange.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
that
orange
was when I
era.
worked out a lot. Like those were good. Like we were feeling ourselves. We were feeling good. And then that's when COVID happened.
Yeah.
oh
That's
this-
when
yeah,
COVID
the
happened.
best thing
we had
was
2 years.
was us
there,
talking
if that.
crap about COVID like it's
Yeah.
not real.
Go back and watch
Yeah, you
the
go
episode
back.
before COVID. I will say I was the one like, hey, I think this is going to be bad, and you guys were memeing
Well,
all over it.
you were like making fun of us or whatever. You were like, I'm kind of getting a little concerned, guys. And I was going, I think my quote was like, "Got doctors, we got it. Like,
Yeah.
we got this thing. We're nipping in the bud." And like, I put that in the beginning of after the lockdown. We were online. We
Yeah.
did Discord for a while. And I was like, I showed that and put the Curb Your Enthusiasm music over me going, doctors, they got it.
They got
To
it.
be fair, there was
We
like
got it.
Zika and Ebola
That's
and
where my mind
swine
was.
flu.
That you
and
were saying that
it
you were
was
like, this is going to be
every
that
year
again.
there was. I
I said
remember
that,
I
yeah.
set a reminder in my phone, and it was like, "Ask Travis what happened to COVID."
You put it in your phone.
It was like, "Ask Travis what happened to COVID." It went off like 6 months later, and I was like, "I'm not asking Travis what happened to COVID."
Then we had so that was the second era. Then the third era
online.
third era was online because second was at your
Yeah.
apartment.
Online was some of the most fun podcasts.
We had fun. We had a fun time. We
We
were.
had to change our background.
That was when the
fun
Yu-Gi-Oh
playing
episode
Yu-Gi-Oh.
happened, where the
I need you
episode
all to
started.
understand. Okay, look, I'm gonna speak my piece here. I
Yeah,
don't
hold on.
really
Let me
think-
tell the story. So everybody knows.
Yu-Gi-Oh was more recent.
We were getting ready to
That
start the
recent.
podcast.
No, brother.
We're on Discord, and we said, okay, we're ready to start. Okay, yeah, we're ready to start. Okay, Zach goes, okay, 3, 2, 1. Immediately in the bottom right of all of our screens, it pops up Steam notification. Werewolf is playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Right as the podcast starts.
So the podcast starts, and Zach's like, "Are you playing Yu-Gi-Oh right now?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
I was on my thing, and I'm like, Jacob's with me. How is he opening up a video game?
So
But-
like, here's how it works, man. Look, I can multitask, and I was like, I can surely. I had a really good deck flow, and I was like, I was trying to just rank up, and I can quickly play these matches while talking about some other stuff. And online era, you only saw my face, so like you didn't see what I was doing.
Yeah.
So that's what made it.
Whatever
great.
you need, man. Then what was our third era or fourth era? Then we were in my basement for a while.
yeah,
Because that was when we
this
started.
This house, even though
Oh,
I, 'cause
yeah.
I moved
You were
from my-
moving,
I
and
moved
this
here, and
basement was
was
gone.
trash,
So
yeah.
so that was
You
when we
were in your
started
basement.
using mics.
Yeah.
But we could not get like we were running these mics into one of your field recording unit
And
things,
they were hitting each other.
and it was like we were getting all these clashes and stuff, and that was an interesting era where like you would see one episode and we would have great audio, and then the next episode it was a
Travis starts
disaster.
the video off saying, "Hey guys,
Yeah.
I want you to know I really tried to salvage
I'd
Yeah.
like to
this."
apologize, guys.
And my
What-
basement is like skinny and long, so like it was weird angles. And
yeah, we couldn't get it just right. The I felt like, when did we get good audio? Was it in your basement when we finally started?
we started to get it consistent.
So what
there.
did we do at my house? Did we just have that Yeti
Well,
mic?
then we came here and we did your lapels, and
Yeah,
we
we
were
do
over
the
here for a
lapels.
little
That's
bit.
The lapels were rough because like we hear the rustling, like
Yeah.
we would hear like the
yeah.
and
It
all
took
that
us
stuff.
100 episodes to get. Well, I feel like we earlier knocked it out here.
It got consistent like the last like 10.
We peaked.
I'd say,
The
yeah.
most-
Getting the
we got
roadcaster. The roadcaster.
Roadcasters when we peaked, and to be
Yeah.
honest with you, I don't know if we'll ever go back.
Yeah.
What are these mics?
These are just
Oh,
SM57s.
Are you able to scale the
Mm.
chat up, like make it bigger?
I can't. But Brent says, I can read it. Jacob told me he was going shirtless this episode.
That
Payne
was.
Reaver said, Zach, done horsing around. When was I horsing around?
Hold on, wait, what? He wants me to go shirtless? Hey, Brent,
That was Brent.
send us $10 and I'll do it. I'm pretty good for that.
I can't see the
$10
Twitch chat.
to
but I can
go
see the YouTube
shirtless.
chat.
How many people are watching right now? Oh yeah, I'll go shirtless for 6 people. Let's go. $10 in.
This is crazy.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, we should do
But
this live more
that's,
often.
That's basically the podcast.
I think we will do
but-
it live from now on. Now, so this
Now
is the end
on.
of the non-live era.
You want to go live for all the other ones? Okay.
Why wouldn't we? It saves us editing time, and then you could have 2 cameras, and I could just press a button and go back and
Bro,
forth,
we
and
have
it's
an Oculus
edited.
camera now.
Dude, like this
The
is a new
Oculus
era.
We're in the Oculus area when we come back.
I can literally. That's the
Whatever.
crazy part. Is I can. literally
This
turn
is the way to
Oculus
do
on.
it because then it's done. We can interact with chat. We could take callers,
That's
and we
true.
could just live edit cameras. We only have one angle today. We just have 2 angles. Go back and forth.
There's a lot of conversations to be had, but here's the thing: we've reached the 100th podcast. We've
Yeah.
been in pools. We've been
Yeah,
in
well, yeah, we
outside.
did a
didn't
series of
talk about-
special
We've
episodes.
been inside of a mall. We've been inside an arcade.
We did
Yeah.
a lot of on-site episodes. We did a mall, an arcade. We did a bachelor trip, multiple bachelor trips.
That was and then we
a
always
hot
did those
tub.
in the
We
hot
did
tubs.
a pool. We did your pool a couple
I
times.
have a request. Maya asked me not to take my shirt off stream, no amount of money, so I cannot do that.
Darn.
$100?
That was
Maya,
fast.
can I do it for 100?
That was fast.
Yeah, she texted me right away. She's like, "That one I'm watching," and I'm like, "That's crazy, but that's fair."
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun times on the podcast. I think 101 will be our best one yet. And we're going to take a little hiatus. I already said this in a channel update or whatever. We're going to take till the summer, figure some stuff out, figure our lives out. We got kids now. So,
And let us
But,
know. Do you when we come back? Do you want us to
No.
do it live? I think this is more fun. I
Yeah.
think it's more fun
you
live.
can
I like
even
having.
ask questions. Yeah.
I think
So-
this could be a new era.
I'm having fun.
I think it's the new era.
I like the
We should widen the group
This
too.
is like this is like the
Go
added-
live on TikTok.
This is gonna be the
we could go.
attitude
Can
era.
you go live on TikTok?
Go live on TikTok.
Bro, we should.
I can't.
We
I
should
get
start
like
having like some
1
scripted
million followers.
beefs.
You
The
need
Attitude
100
Era.
followers to
I
go
need
live on
100
TikTok.
followers.
You can pay for them.
Messenger,
You can
Yeah.
pay for followers.
You can get bot followers.
Bro,
This is good.
They
Whoa,
shut down
whoa.
that streamer that I was watching because he was joking about paying for bot followers. They shut down gifting on his stream because he joked about paying
Hey,
for bots.
Can't even joke
AOI
about it.
has a great point. He said Jacob being shirtless will never happen because Jacob's been promising to have since the first episode to go pants off.
He did take the pants
Jacob
off.
did take his
I
pants off,
took my
but
pants off.
he had shorts on underneath.
That's true.
Episode 3, you can see he took his pants off.
I
But,
did go back to episode 3. My pants did honestly 5 minutes in, my pants was off.
but he had shorts on underneath.
I also want to go on record and just state that like there was no like where we're at now and how we do this. Like we discussed like okay, I would say 90% of the time we discuss what we're going to talk about a little bit beforehand so we can flow better. Back in the day, we went in there and we ripped it raw dog style.
When you
Like,
say
we just
back
went
in the
there
day,
and
you mean
we
for
just-
the first
we just
85
said,
episodes.
hey, this
We
is
didn't have
what-
show notes for like 80 episodes.
No, we just said we let it flow.
Did you
We let-
hear what he said?
He
They
said
ripped it raw dog style.
Was that bad?
It's a visceral way to
I wouldn't
describe
say
it.
that.
It's not bad.
I'm not meaning that in a bad way. I'm just saying like it was done like in a really just crazy off the. Wait, is there a worse meaning for that?
God bless you.
Hey, this is why we don't do this live.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you,
I love the time Jacob told things that were borderline criminal about his
I don't
own
think it was
life.
criminal. I went on record for that.
Oh, you're on the record for it. You're
I
on the
just-
record.
I don't know
for it.
about this new era. This might be the last era.
That was
really.
a top 5 podcast moment. You taking your pants off. Our Stadia battle was.
Well, it's, the funniest thing about the Stadia battle to this day that makes me laugh when I think about it, it wasn't me, Travis, and Jacob. It was me and Travis. My wife was gone for the day. It was me and him in this corner
It
of
was
my
just me and
basement
him.
yelling back and forth. And,
Yeah.
and then it was like,
Hey,
there's no one else here fighting.
no,
like,
I was-
we are like in space, outer space. We might as well have been like fighting about
Well,
this.
then we were at Torg and we met guys that run a video game podcast that is
It
just
was a
about
convention,
debates.
Torg,
Yeah.
Their podcast is about video game debates, and so they were telling us about their show. It's like, well, hey, we got one for you. Okay, if we told them the Stadia bet example, and I think they took my side.
For those that don't know, we had a Stadia bet of when Google Stadia was going to be shut down. I said we don't need to get into it. We're going to get into a mess, but Travis had a different ideal of what if I had won that debate or not.
Here,
get into
here.
it.
So,
He's
look,
afraid to get into
No, we
it.
don't.
He's
I don't
afraid
think
to
we need to
touch
go
that
into
yet.
it.
There's 4 of us.
We
I think.
voted on this so many.
There's 5 of us here.
Yeah.
Let's do a live.
I don't want 2 premises.
This
Live.
is the decisive 100th episode.
Oh,
we
I'm
will
all
decide
for it.
who's wrong. There's
Sorry, Zach.
three non-biased parties here.
You have to get your ID out. I don't
Three
see some
non-biased
or
parties.
you're not
Okay.
going to be able to vote.
My vote is when
I wanna
did
see some ID.
were you able to purchase games
Not
on
games.
or after the date that you said it was going to be shut down?
No,
Was the store up or was it down?
it was down.
All right. So
I was still playing and using the service.
No, so they discontinued Stadia on a certain date.
They
Bethel-
announced it would be shut. They announced that it would be discontinued after the 2-year mark.
which Travis said it will make it past 2 years.
I said it would make
Three.
it
It was three.
It was
It was
2
three.
years.
It
It
was
was
3
2
years.
years. It was 2 years.
Are you sure? I think it was
Yeah.
3.
2 years.
It was-
Because I said it'll last
I
3.
said within 3.
He
I
said-
said we would do it within
Whatever.
3. That was the problem.
So you said 2
'Cause
years.
you said-
Okay,
it went over-
so you could log in and play
Yes.
a game
Yeah.
past the date that you said it would make it.
In
But
a
the store was
nutshell,
shut down. The
in a
store was shut
nutshell,
down.
they announced that it was going to close down after the deadline, and he was trying to say the announcement was enough to make it shut down.
No.
And
no.
and then now because he said it didn't last, he said,
We-
"Well, it ends in
The issue
January.
with
It
this
ends
is
in
we weren't
your
at,
date was in like November, wasn't it?
yes,
And you could
It
log
launched in November, and you could still log in and do-
December and
yeah.
play a game.
yes."
You win.
I sent him
I don't
footage
think
of me
vote.
doing it.
That's my vote.
I will also. I've said
It's-
this multiple times on the podcast. I am Team Travis in this one.
All right,
Well,
it's over.
No,
It's
well,
over.
I'm
You're
Team
cooked.
Zach. I'm Team Zach.
You're cooked.
Zach,
What made me the maddest in all this was you said I was so close though. If I putted a ball and it was this close, you wouldn't give it to me. I said no because that means I would lose.
Yes.
I was like, you don't know how over unders work. Like you might lose by a little bit. That's still losing.
You still lose.
The moment he started negotiating whether or not he wins is the moment Zach lost.
I am interested in Alex's opinion.
We never. I think if I went back and watched that podcast, and I think our issue is we weren't. I think if we would have put money on it and been very decisive on
Then
it,
I would have taken your money.
then you,
Which means you win.
Then
If
what
there's money or not money involved, it doesn't matter.
we were kind of more loosey goosey. I was like, within 3
This
years.
is such a Jeb Bush moment.
They announced it was closing down within 3 years, and then I couldn't buy more games from that point when they did announcement. He that owned games could, I couldn't, and I said that's good enough. Like it's done. It's done within 3 years. It's done.
Now,
it's done.
If you could play a game past the date, then it was
The bet was
up.
when would the servers be shut down? When would it be shut down?
We're arguing semantics here, but was the service still accessible?
Yeah.
I couldn't buy any
You could
game.
log
If
in.
I
You
wanted
could
to-
log into the service
If
and
I,
do what you
if
could
I
do.
myself wanted to go do it, I couldn't have done it.
I ran
could've done it.
strikes. I ran strikes
He
the day
could.
after the shutdown in Destiny 2.
I couldn't get any. I wouldn't be able to do it, but he would because
No, you could. Free games you could still
Yeah,
play.
they still had streaming like
Did you
services.
create an account, log in?
Yeah.
I don't think you
Yeah,
could. I think you could. The store
I
was
sent
shut
you
down.
footage of me doing it.
Yeah, because you already own the game.
No. It's just you just have an account. You just log in.
I think it's
Oh,
Joe.
All right, well,
sorry, Zach.
well, as you heard, the debate
as
is
you
still
heard,
out.
it's over. 100th podcast.
The debate-
Decisive.
the debate
the
is-
hammer is
You
down.
know,
Zach
you heard it
loses
here.
the bet.
There's a really funny thing back, not to get political, but it was like back on Fox News, and it's a funny clip
Hey,
of
not
like
to get political, he brings up
it
Fox.
was like when Obama was like up for election or whatever, and there was it was of course like conservative Fox News or whatever, and they were like, all right, we're gonna do a hand. How many people are gonna vote for Obama? And like 3/4 of the room came up, and it was like, all right, as you can see, it's kind of split, and we'll have to see back. And there's the people in the background looking like this. So I'm kind of recreating that. Like, well, it's kind of split here, so we'll see.
This
All right.
this one takes the cake for me. The Last of Us 2 conversation was very.
Oh, we can't.
Well,
Notice
there's a
you guys were
3.5
talking about Last of Us
hour-
2. I'm silent. I can't.
There's a if you
Me
want
and
to
Zach
see,
can't talk about Last of Us
there's
2.
a 3.5 hour Last of Us 2.
I also
initial
want to go on
review,
record.
and
That
then
was
we
not.
Wait, there's a
all the
3.5
intention.
initial review.
Me,
3.5
you,
hour.
and Jacob did a 3.5 hour review on Last of Us 2. But then what I said is initial, meaning multiple podcasts after we.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause-
like the
'cause we
next
kept
5
hashing it.
podcasts, it kept coming back
No,
up, and
I still have I had to start taking notes because it got so just stupid. I'm looking right here. Here it is.
Don't say any spoilers.
There it is. There's all my notes.
Don't say any
I started
spoilers.
writing
Dude,
essays.
we made Jacob. Oh my God, show that to the camera.
Look, I kid you
gonna
not.
get
I started writing essays
Jesus.
because we got so. Look at this. Look at it's still going.
Wow, he brings the
Hey,
receipts.
Bro,
I-
we got theological
If
on
I
Last of Us
search The
2.
Last of Us 2, I know I have like full on books from Jacob where we had conversations about.
So you guys, it's a point of contention, but like, are
Yes.
you're pro or against, and you're pro or
The
against?
problem was
Well, Jacob,
went into
Jacob
it
actually kind of
crapping.
changed my mind because we were trying to see what to rate it, like 1 out of 5, and we used different scales of like you should play it, excellent, or a classic on the different things. And he came in with a new one, which is basically a 3.5, and you were like, you should play it. I
Yeah.
think that's what you should
Yeah.
play it, which is like this is a divisive game. This is an interesting game. You should play it. And I was like, oh, I think you might change my mind on that. So by the end, that was where we were at. The more I thought about it, the more whatever. Like I think we even texted. I was like, I don't know about this, or
Yeah.
I'm about to. I think we had beat it, or recently I was like, I don't know, but it's still a point of contention. And where I land on it is like it's not an enjoyable game to me. It's so full of hate and so full of like very dark themes, and it came out during time of COVID, and that kind of burnt me in a way. That kind of like
So Headspace.
Headspace was probably an issue, but then I got the freaking collector's edition of the remake over there, and I booted up, and I only got a couple hours in, and I was on my desire to play it. I was like, I don't have a desire to like go on with this long adventure. It's just not
And
in me.
we've gotten past that because like I totally understand
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I think that where it gets, if you go see where it gets really contentious is motivations of Joel and motivations of Ellie as characters and where things go.
Yes, it's
you and
story
I
stuff.
have disagreements
Yeah.
about
The
that
gameplay-
are
the
extremely
gameplay-
deep about those
gameplay-
characters.
We're on the same
And
page.
yeah,
gameplay.
yeah, I
Gameplay
get
is
where
like-
you're at,
is
and the
amazing.
gameplay's amazing.
Gameplay's amazing.
But you have a thought about Ellie and Joel and their relationship and stuff. I just see it differently,
Yeah.
and when we go on that topic, we just go down a rabbit hole.
I also didn't like the characters. They didn't connect with me as much, and it was just a lot of stuff that
but
just
I think-
stacks for me. It just-
And again, we don't have to hash it out again. I'm by my hash out for a second. I'm with you on some of those.
we're like
agrees.
revisiting. It is kind
This
of
is
like
therapy.
It is, I mean, we're kind of revisiting the past 100 episodes.
Cathartic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's the case. There are points where I'm like, Zach has very strong points. The side characters for that game are absolute trash. Like they're not great. The game centers around.
Oh my, it's not trash.
I hate Dina. I think Dina's the most
Yeah, Dina.
useless person
None of these
in
people
that
connect
game.
with me. Yeah.
Hey, and I have a 2-page essay. I'll show you why. But
Be careful.
It's the
Alex
100%.
hasn't played it.
I know I'm just saying Dina's
I
trash.
mean, I know who Tina Dina is. So.
Yeah, it's all about Ellie, Abby, and Joel. Those are the three people. That's that game, and that's okay. That's why I'm like I'm okay with that because you know what? Even at the end of the day, I know you haven't played it. I'm not gonna spoil it, but I had opinions going into it, and
I disagree.
I changed it.
I strongly disagree with you. Every character that like they give time in the spotlight, like they have a purpose, and
Let's
it
go.
makes
Kenny's Last of Us 2
it
filled.
makes the interactions that happen on the flip side of the coin
Yeah.
so much more meaningful when you.
Yeah.
It's the people that I think have a problem a lot with that is
Me. Go ahead.
I don't know. Maybe you just aren't good at like non-linear story. Like
Oh,
because
you
they
can't say
tell-
that because that's like basically call me stupid. On
Basically,
that.
No,
what he's saying
I'm
is
saying-
it's a skill issue, Zach.
It's
Sorry.
not. It's not even a skill issue. It's that like when you go back in hindsight and rewatch that over again, and you see like you know what's coming now because you've seen like what happens later in the game, and you know that person's relationship to the other people. It impacts you a little bit more, and it's such a butterfly effect of like everything that happens has significant meaning to each character's development, and it took me 5 years of like completely ignoring that game existed
Yeah.
to come back and watch somebody play through it again and be like, yeah, this is pretty significant.
In fairness to Zach and Jacob and anybody else who doesn't like it, I think I had a chip on my shoulder when it came out because I felt it was a masterpiece immediately, and everybody I knew was poo-pooing on it and like sending memes about Dina and like.
Hey, bro, no.
And I was just
I
like, this
promise
game
you
is.
had it, it was
And
like,
I
I
was
have
just like,
screenshots.
this game is beautiful and touched me on a deeply spiritual level, and like everybody I felt was like. Not giving it its opportunity.
60%
So the
of
fact that
that-
you're saying that is enough for me. That's cool.
60% of that was me trolling you.
I know.
But there were people that were like glazing the graphics in this
it-
game, and I was playing it on a 70-something inch Samsung 4K on a PS4 Pro, and like the in-game moment sometimes looked like that picture I sent you. Like it just did. Sometimes it looked
It
like a
was
PS3
bad.
game, and I don't know what
Man.
caused it. But like if you switch to photo mode, it changed.
Hey.
Yeah.
And the remake of 2 looks way better.
I don't want to.
You guys haven't seen it on PS5 Pro, have you?
No.
No.
It looks incredible.
I'm sure. it
But
does.
I will
I've
just
seen it on a
to
PS5.
to
and it
bury
looks
the hatchet
phenomenal.
and put it to rest. I will not put it. If somebody prefers 1 to 2 or doesn't even like 2, I get it. You know. I just think that what they pulled off story wise in that game, that's like the stuff of like literature.
Yeah.
That is like the stuff of like an amazing novel. Like it's, I don't see that happen in games.
Yeah,
So.
I think part of it is like one, Zach is 1,000,000% right. Headspace, like 2020 was like the second worst year of my life. So, like living through all of that and trying to play this dark game, like I kind of didn't have a desire to. I kind of forced my way through
Yeah.
it, which makes you not like it already. But then, like you get through the game and you're like, man, I really hate how this turned out for so many people. And
Yeah.
that's okay. Like, I still hate how it turned out for so many people in that world, but I understand it and I'm okay. Like, just because I don't like how things end up doesn't mean it's a bad story. And that's what that, like, I think that perspective change.
Brent
I
says
saw that.
Last of Us 2 sucks.
Yeah, that's fine.
My other issue I explained in the review, and we're actually gonna have some closure on it. I was like, one of my complaints was it takes too long to get to certain like things. I felt like this game was too long. And if you watch the documentary on The Last of Us 2, the making of, all of the devs kind of agreed like this was too long of a game, too much of a game in that regard. So that was kind of a big complaint for me, was the length to get to things where I'm like, wrap it up. But in my review, I said, I would love to see if they ever made a Last of Us TV show and they revisited it.
Yeah.
So we're about to see season 2 soon.
Yeah,
So-
but they're stretching that out. I think aren't they doing 2 parts of season 2?
Yeah. Well, it's so long, I think they
Yeah.
have to do 2
You
seasons.
gotta at least do 2
Yeah,
seasons.
you have to do at least 2
I do
seasons.
also want to revisit one more thing. We did in the past 10 years, well, not 10 years, in the 100th episodes of
Yeah.
podcast, whatever we did, we lived through, was it 2 Destiny games? We saw the end of 1 and the launching of 2,
Yeah.
right?
2014 was Destiny 1.
Because I
yeah.
remember correctly, you were part of the OG Destiny teams, right?
Yeah.
And then
Me and
it just
Alex and-
became
I think Craig and
you.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mainly.
yeah.
Play too.
Wasn't Zach
Occasionally-
Campbell involved in Destiny?
He
for a
played
bit, too?
Destiny 2 with me for a
Yeah,
little while.
Zach, Travis was kind of the flag bearer. I love watching the transition.
If you go to early episodes, I was hating on Destiny.
Yeah.
all were, yeah.
Yeah,
and I
because,
ended up like putting 500 hours into
It's
like.
funny how, like,
Like half of it doesn't exist
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Oh, don't even get me started. Well, and we did great reviews on I think Breath of the Wild,
yeah.
We did a
Last
group
of
review.
Us. We did
Yeah.
a group review. We did a group review for Final Fantasy VII, but we did a group review for Sekiro.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is lost media.
Yeah, it's lost media.
You never put it up.
Yeah.
We were in the woods.
Why?
You should go.
I think because I wanted to make it good and I wanted to put like gameplay with it, and I never got around to doing it.
Maybe, let me tell you.
Isn't that
Yeah.
funny?
Yeah.
That's one of the few things that we
That was the
filmed.
only thing we didn't
The
release. Everything else
DweeBros
we
lost
released.
media. I didn't know we had lost media.
That's a look behind the curtain.
We filmed it in the woods. So yeah, I don't know. You asked for a documentary. You know,
You might get Sekiro.
we don't have a documentary to make out of that.
You're gonna
But
find that like the Blair Witch tape or something.
No.
Yeah. But going back, 100 episodes, let's go back even further episodes of our lives. I thought it was kind of cool, or actually there was an article. If I want to I just want to read like the beginning of it or like what was going on with it, but it was from somebody on the Xbox side that left. Who the frick was this?
That might be Xbox as a whole.
Popping up.
oh,
It's Peter Moore. So I just want to read the very beginning of this part and then we can kind of discuss it. But it was a quote and said, "I did encourage the battle. PlayStation versus Xbox console war was healthy, but has lost its feistiness." Peter Moore says.
when did he say that?
This was last week or 2 weeks ago. So the former Xbox boss says times have now changed. It says former Xbox executive Peter Moore says the Xbox versus PlayStation console war was healthy for the industry, but that things have changed. And I don't have to read the whole thing, but like that did make me think back on like my brain went brrr, like all the way back to like when I started gaming and console war stuff. And thinking about like now, like, yeah, this used to be like fun, but like what happened, and especially stuff we've talked about in the past couple months when it came to Microsoft and they're changing their strategy. So I kind of wanted to go back on like console wars as a whole and like where we're at, like as we're leading up to the this 100th episode before we break, like gaming in general right now, because that's what we've also been talking about the past, I say the year of the podcast is like what is happening in gaming, all these layoffs, all this stuff going on. And that's why I said when I was listening to those E3 clips trying to get ready for the stream, I was freaking tearing up because I was like, wow, the industry is changing, and we watched ourselves doing the reaction videos today and all this stuff, and it's like, where is that kind of? That's been lost a little bit, to a degree. Like we're having these online direct stuff, what's going on. But I did think about this and the console wars and like how things have changed and industries have changed and people have kind of forgotten some of the stuff. So I kind of wanted to go back to like older consoles a little bit and talk about how things have changed. So I think the first one, and probably this might be mine and Alex's more leaning into this. Maybe you guys have something to say, but like for me, the first time I could see this and like fighting on the playground and stuff had to be, and I don't think there was much of this earlier, it had to be Super Nintendo and Genesis. Like that was like duking out. It was part of the ads. People were like clearly making fun of Mario or like Sega does. Yeah, it was right in the like the advertise. You'd read up like a gaming magazine. It was like, yeah, Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Yeah, it was
Like that was right on the thing, like on there. And it's funny, like when you, I don't know if any other industry like does that to that point. You know what I mean? Like that just was part of the advertisements. Was like this console's better, this console, and like that kind of infighting. But Yeah, on the playground that just caused so many like fights. Like, no, I like this better. I think it's even in freaking Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison. There's a part in Billy Madison where like they're fighting over. I think Mario's cooler than Sonic. You know what I mean? Like those kind of fights. So it's like that's my earliest memory. But it did cause like people like so fervent on one side. Like, oh, I have to get this. But part of that was. And that's what's so weird about now and how to navigate. Like, it's just a weird industry now because we've always had like, well, PlayStation had this and that's what we got. And Microsoft, oh, we got it. Well, Halo, and look at this new announcement at E3. And you know what I mean? It was that. But now when Microsoft's like, Indiana Jones, our newest thing, 2 months later on PlayStation, it's like,
well, and you've got cross-play.
Weird.
So barriers, it's not even like you're out with certain friends. If like these kids growing up today, it's better for them, but like, oh, you want to play whatever, like Fortnite or Marvel Rivals or whatever, you can play on an iPad. It doesn't matter. We can play together.
Yeah.
And so those things that would come up in the past are not there. I think about, whether it was the Genesis Nintendo era or whether it was later with like PlayStation, Xbox, and PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube was when it was really setting in for me. That was when I was coming online for me.
Yeah.
Those consoles all had really different ecosystems of games. Mm-hmm. We still see it with Nintendo. Like Nintendo, you watch a Direct, you spend time in Nintendo's ecosystem. It's a Nintendo place. Yeah. Colorful, gameplay first. Very charming, that kind of stuff. Even like their takes on like Alien and stuff like that, like Metroid, are still colorful and lush and stuff. Whereas Xbox, which was the first console I had after an N64. I was playing Morrowind. I was playing Knights of the Old Republic. I was playing all these RPGs and Halo, all these shooters. So you get RPGs and shooters on the Microsoft platform. You get all these platformers and quirky Nintendo games on the GameCube and all the stuff they were doing in that kind of like GameCube era with like the beach stuff, like Sunshine, all that stuff, and Wind Waker. And then on the PlayStation 2. You were getting like Metal Gear Solid. You were getting Sly Cooper. You were getting all these like some made in Japan, some Western, but like kind of sleek, but more edgy, an edgier version of kind of some of these more arcadey style games. And like nowadays, you look at the PlayStation and Xbox platforms, it's all homogenized. Yeah. Like shooters are just on both.
Yeah.
Racing games are on both. RPGs are on both. The arcadey games are on both. The platformers are on both. And so like exclusives, especially after the PS4 gen, they're not uniquely Sony or Xbox as we go along here. They're all more similar. So I think that some of the feistiness losses used to have these really passionate fan bases of like, I am a Sony person or I'm an Xbox person because those games reflect what I like. And now it's like, it's just like a bunch of hired guns. Like, okay, now Xbox has Bethesda and they have this and they have that and they own Rare and they own all these people. It's like there's nothing tying these together culturally. They just are all owned by Xbox.
It's funny. It's funny you state that because I think about, for me, I mean, and this is my middle school beef. It was Xbox and PS3. Everyone was beefing over that because they didn't have any ability to work together. Zero, none. You had an Xbox, you played the Xbox people. You did PS3, you played the PS3 people, and that was your homies.
Your Gears and Halo, or your
Call of Duty, and that or the show and all that stuff. But I think the biggest for me, what I look at least this is conversations I have with individuals and the younger generations, everyone has access to computers and like better technology. PCs, these kids got PCs, man.
A lot of kids have PCs,
and like
more than any other generation.
Console wars are kind of over because PCs
are the thing. Kids,
Yeah.
and to be honest with you, they're still playing Roblox. They're still playing.
Yeah.
They're playing these.
My little brother was over. He's like 11, and he was like showing me his Roblox stuff.
Yeah. Dude, I hung out with some teenagers last night, and I'm like, "How old are you?" 17. I'm like, "What are you doing?" Roblox. I'm like,
"Yeah, they're all like,
you're going to college.
Yeah.
What are you doing?" But that's just like.
And that makes me think like I'm old man yelling at a cloud a little bit because like my son, if he decides to play games, or like any kids, if you ask him right now, it's like the console wars and they're like, I'm playing my friend that's like on his PC right now.
Yeah, they don't care.
Like, shut up. You know what I mean? Like they don't even think about that stuff because, like you said, it's so connectivity.
Like, all had an era. The era I realized it was N64 PS1 because we had a PS1. I loved Spyro. I beat Resident Evil 3 before my stepdad did. Like I was 8, 9 years old and playing NFL Blitz and Resident Evil and Croc and Spyro and Crash, loved it. And my stepdad's like, I always liked Nintendo better. Trades the PS1 for an N64, and I'm like, bro, what'd you just do? Like, then he goes and buys me a Zelda game I can't even play because we don't have the expansion pack. So I'm like, what? And so the N64 was really sour to me because I lost what I loved, and I'm in the boat of PS1 completely dominated that. Like compared to the N64,
Yeah.
N64 was very top heavy of like 4 games that are awesome, and after that, it's nothing.
It's a lot of trash.
And, but then like they're like, oh well, we're gonna go get Resident Evil 2, and it's like, well,
That's
I
an
don't-
incredible port, though.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great
That's-
port, but like I don't
That's
really
a
care. I
master
already
class
played
in
this
computer
on.
science right there.
It's so funny you say that because I was in daycare and like I just knew Nintendo. That's all I knew, and I really hadn't had Xbox yet. This is probably like late '90s, maybe 2000. And this kid I was like talking to was like, yeah, we have a PlayStation. And I didn't even know he was talking about a console. I thought he was talking about like some kind of weird like sports zone thing in his house, like PlayStation. Like, what do you like swing on stuff? Like, I didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
He's like, no, it's like a game. I was like a Nintendo. Like, I didn't yet conceptualize what he was even talking about.
But I grew up with.
But
a
for
Genesis.
him, like he was at that time deep into whatever PS1 games he had.
I had a Genesis at my grandma's, and I had Sonic 2, and then I got Sonic 3, and I loved playing Genesis. And then when my mom and my stepdad got together, he brought the Super Nintendo. And that's when I very first got, and I was like, okay, Super Nintendo won for me. Because you had Link to the Past, and you had Super Mario. I spent so many hours playing Super Mario World. And then it's like, oh, we're getting a PlayStation. And we get the PlayStation, and it completely blows Super Nintendo out of the water. And then trades it for that. But then I got the GameCube. The GameCube was my console of that generation. But in hindsight, like, man, it was kind of the coolest thing about the GameCube was, didn't it get Resident Evil 4 first?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, you want to talk about console wars?
Yeah.
Resident Evil was always Sony. It was always.
Yeah.
And then they like hurried up and cranked out Resident Evil 3, which wasn't really 3, just so they could fulfill their contract. Then they went to the Dreamcast with Code Veronica, which was the real Resident Evil 3, and then they jumped ship to GameCube.
Yeah.
And GameCube got it first, which then of course, every console ended up getting Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
But that was like, you talk about exclusives and things like that. That was
Yeah,
crazy time.
I think what Travis said was good of like not homogenized because Nintendo is always, what do you think of like bases like kids games or like more
Not Resident
family
Evil 4.
friendly? Yeah. And if you're thinking Sony, JRPGs and cool, very sleek stuff from Japan that at the time is like, what am I playing? Like, what is Metal Gear Solid? Like that was unlike anything else at that point. Whereas Xbox, you're getting Halo, you're getting like online. You're
They
playing
had
online, and stuff?
online, and they had the market cornered on like RPGs, like BioWare coming over from PC and putting Knights of the Old Republic on Xbox. Bethesda bringing Morrowind over and putting it on
huge, too.
Xbox and stuff like. If there's an alternate reality where Xbox keeps those relationships with those RPG makers tighter to their brand, and they don't put Oblivion on the PS3, and they don't put Mass Effect 2 and 3 on the PlayStation, like, we may be looking at a different landscape today, but those kind of cross-pollinations that happened kind of started to put us down the road where we're at today.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's worse, it's just reality. And
it's funny, like, when I look at, like, because people, I think for years have said this of, like, well, Nintendo's not even in this. It's always kind of been, for the last, several gens, a Sony-Microsoft thing. Because Nintendo, I think the moment Nintendo actually did, I think Nintendo was competing. Like, you have Sega, Nintendo, and all these, like,
GameCube felt like they were trying to contend.
GameCube, Xbox, and PS2 was another console war period where, like, they were going at it, like, pretty heavy. It was the Wii.
Yeah.
The Wii was, like, the first time where they did not try to up the graphics. Because GameCube, I think, was, like, up there with, like, if you look at Luigi's Mansion, what it launched with, looks amazing, along with Xbox and PS2 at the time. Probably it might have been one of the weaker ones, GameCube. I don't know. I can't remember. But
It was second place.
was it? Yeah. Okay, PS2 was the weakest. But that Wii was the first time they went, okay, we're just going to be another GameCube. Oh, shoot, but we have motion. And I think they went on their own, like, chart. And that's been smart for them.
Yeah, but the Wii it outsold the 360
Yeah.
and the PS3.
And it's like they weren't the most powerful. It's like, oh, shoot, you don't have to make graphics like a big thing.
It always comes down to experiences. And I think that's the thing that people are going to understand when it comes to gaming is like, it's the experiences they get to have on those consoles that make it memorable and make it fun.
Yeah.
And so like,
So-
I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, VR is the next great thing, but it has experiences, and it has its own space, and it's probably not going to ever be more than 1% or 2% of the market. Like, but it's an experience.
Yeah.
The same way where like the Switch 2, that's going to be an experience.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all a question: if the console wars are over,
I think that's the question I'm leading
Is the
up to.
cons- is the console
do you think
wars
the console
over?
wars are over? And I think just based on like the more I've been thinking about and getting those podcast clips of us and E3 and stuff, and I was like, I think it kind of is. I think E3 had a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
They kind of stoked
They wanted
the
to
fire.
upstage each other.
Yeah, there was a lot of competition in one spot for that. You know, there was like, oh, we're gonna get this third party person, we're gonna get these people, and now there's not that much infighting to do that.
Do you
So
think-
to me, I think the freaking console war, the start of that dying was the funny clip we watched tonight when Sony, it's like, here's how you play used games on the PlayStation 4. You know what I mean? Like that was like a moment in time where it was like, oh shoot, that was the beginning of the end for Microsoft's kind of stuff.
I think that
they
sent
couldn't find
Microsoft down a road that
down
ended.
a
I
road,
think
yeah.
Microsoft's Play Anywhere initiative / Game Pass is where, because at that point, it's hard to have a war if you're not fighting over the same territory.
Yeah.
And that is what ended it, is Microsoft deciding we don't.
It's almost like a treaty.
We are not going to we're going to prioritize. It'd be like saying we're not going to take this land, but we're going to prioritize economic dominance.
Yes.
That's what Microsoft's approach has been: is we'll cede to you that you're going to sell way more consoles than us. We want to have a software vertical into your client base.
Yeah.
And ever since that has happened, we've been in this weird kissing your cousin like situation with these companies
Cousin
where
kissers.
they're kind of like elements of Sony and Microsoft are working together. Like, remember that a couple years ago, like Sony above PlayStation signed like a streaming deal with Microsoft, like above Xbox, and like there are weird deals in place and weird things that have happened, and they're not. In my opinion, they're not fighting the same battle. So how is there a war at this point?
But I also think that's why we've also seen a kind of, I want to say creative drought, but like maybe in a gaming world, like a rough patch of gaming. It's because competition's kind of died out a little bit too.
Yeah, that competition's gone, and that brought out the best in these companies.
it
So
did,
I wonder, it's like, well, if it's over, what does it matter? And that's kind of what
The
we're
games.
feeling.
That's
It's
what
like,
goes back to that quote
Yeah.
of like that feistiness. It was fun as like a consumer to see that. Like, it just was really cool to see that at E3. It's like, I wonder what they're going to bring out and who had the best show and stuff. That did cause like, you know, there was competition. There was fun ideals. It's like, we have to get a little crazy here. Oh shoot, did you see that new thing they launched? That's a new franchise. But now I feel like everybody's like, it just kind of, like you said, like, let's just join this Game Pass. Let me on your platform. It's like, oh, come on. Like, I want that feistiness. Like they were saying in the article.
Yeah,
I
I
want
think
like,
the
I
only
want to
one
stoke the
that's,
fire. Like,
The only one that's really like still, I feel like they're all leaning into their own strengths as like a brand,
sure.
and I think Nintendo, as much as I just crapped on the Switch 2 and everything like that, I feel like they are the ones still putting out really good games.
I was gonna say, I think Nintendo, if there's a winner in all of this, it's Nintendo and it's Valve.
Yeah.
I think Sony's in a really weird spot where they had clear identity and they have closed Japan's studio and deprioritized all their Japanese developers, and they've got like 4 companies that make the same type of third-person narrative action game that costs $300 million to make, and that's all they have right now.
Yeah.
And they took this big swing on service games that's failed.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Sony's operating from a place of strength right now. Xbox clearly isn't operating from a place of strength, but Nintendo is still. They found their area
Their
and what
niche,
they're
their
doing, and they're
people.
doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Yeah.
they've won, and I think Valve is eating. Frankly, Sony. I think that you can tell that Valve is eating Sony and Xbox's lunch, because Sony and Xbox are feeling
running to
forced
Valve.
to put their games on Steam,
Yeah.
and I don't think that Valve's going to be pushing to put Half-Life on the PlayStation or Xbox.
Yeah, when I say that about them leaning into there, I feel like Sony is kind of, you're right, they're in a weird place, but I feel like they leaned into their strength for a long time with those big cinematic.
They did.
But the problem is, you can't put out a $300 million Spider-Man game every year.
No.
You could do that like every 4 or 5
But
years.
that's the difference between
And that's why I feel like the PS5 suffered from not having a lot of big quality games. Like, you can play a lot on there, but a lot of it is like last gen that's just been up-resed, or
Yeah. It's on
like
paper.
it's all playing catch up. Like you got people like Alex, you kind of skipped the PS4,
Yeah.
and now you're loving the PS5 because
That's
you're
right.
playing PS4 games
Yeah.
on it that look really good, but
Yeah, I
playing
was talking to
PS4.
April about this. It's like I think I can count the number of like truly current gen exclusives for PS5 maybe on one hand, and the only
At
one
least.
I can think of is like Returnal. Dude.
yeah,
It's Returnal.
and that's not even exclusive. That's
Dude,
on PC.
how
Yeah, it's on
crazy
PC.
is that?
Yeah.
But
the
that's the
only one I can think
difference.
of.
I think that's the difference, and the PC Valve connection. You're 1,000,000% correct. There's no rush, there's no strive, there's no need to grind, and dude, it was crazy. Assassin's Creed dropped a game. They haven't dropped a game in a couple of years, but they dropped this new Assassin's Creed game, and I was like, I want to kind of get that. You know what I mean? Because we haven't had games, man, and I don't know
Yeah.
why, but like I'm just like, I'd play an Assassin's Creed right now, maybe. And it kind of just got me for a second, and that's the kind of drought we're living in. When I'm looking at an Assassin's Creed game, and I'm like, maybe. That's where we're
Yeah.
at.
Yeah, and I know a lot, and we talked about the podcast too. I know the current economy also has a lot to play with what
Yeah.
we're talking about too. But I think avoiding that for a second, just moving that to the side, there is like that kind of like you need some like pushing and shoving a little bit. Like I instead of like Microsoft saying, "Hey, we're trying this experiment to put on PlayStation," I wish they would just like
I think
I don't know.
I just don't think there's another
back to
company
fighting.
that's going to come out of nowhere and say we're making a game console.
Yeah.
I don't think there's another company that's going to walk up and say
Sega's coming back.
If Nvidia had aspirations to something like that,
they
they could
kind
do
of
it.
had like an interest in doing the streaming platform because they did the Shield,
Yeah.
whatever. I think
It would
was
have
the Shield.
to. It would have to be somebody like Nvidia, somebody that has recently had massive influx of money and,
Yeah.
and new success in technology. But they're a hardware company. They're not a
That's what I
content
mean.
development
There's
company.
not.
But they have
there's-
their own streaming thing, don't they? Nvidia something. What's it called? Didn't you have it? Like where you can
Nvidia
stream
Now.
Nvidia Now.
Yeah.
So I think that is where the new console wars might start. Is what streaming platform are you going to use? I don't know. Maybe that's the next
All I really
frontier.
was, though, is you signing into Steam and then running your games on the hardware.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Yeah, that's the thing though. I'm telling you, a lot of stuff is pushed through Steam, and Valve is really successful for this. Epic Games, I'll still give them some credit, even though they're not really as much anything anymore, other than the Fortnite stuff they drive. I just don't see a company like it's like Meta. No, not even close.
Well,
They-
what about with VR though?
Yeah, like you got.
Yeah,
you
Met,
have to drive
but
that.
it's
You own a
Yeah.
meta console.
I own a Meta
essentially.
console, but like, I guess
But-
I look at Meta and I'm like,
only meta head here.
Meta's not going to put out a home console. They
Yeah.
put out this.
And you would
Bro,
argue
you were
that's
just
a home
sleeping with
console?
that thing.
Brother, I could do a lot of things with that thing.
Like
But
what?
no, I'm not like that, you weirdos. But no, I'm just saying like Valve put out the Index and they haven't supported it in how long?
I saw a rumor that they're gonna drop a $1,200 new headset wireless this year potentially.
No,
1,200. How much was that?
$399.
Yeah,
think
bro,
that-
you're way out of my league talking $1,200.
They have a $299 version that's the same thing.
That's heavily subsidized, sure, but
Yeah, I just like, again, it's competition, and VR, there's a big competition space, but I don't know. That's probably why I like VR games. It's like, we got a lot of random crap out there, and I'm like, at least try stuff. And it's cheap. The games are cheap.
Let me ask you this. You guys say there's a drought. There are so many effing games coming out constantly. It's not that there's a drought of games.
There's a drought of good games.
There's a drought of like good curated quality
Yes.
games that are exciting.
And there's a lot of remasters coming out a ton.
Dude, I'm so, actually, I'm so over that, dude.
And I actually like playing The Last of Us, the remake, and even playing these remasters of the Tomb Raider games. That's what I'm currently playing. I do like those. When I'm only playing those, I'm kind of like, why am I playing a lot of 1999 games? You know what I mean? Like I am kind of looking around like, what's next on the horizon? But I mean, we got GTA 6 coming out, but that also took 15 years or whatever it was since 12 years.
I
since
will
the last
say GTA 6 will probably be a little bit of like a renaissance for me.
I think that will. I think even like analysts were saying the other day for like the game industry was like, oh, that's going to boost ever. Like we'll get back where we were. like that.
There
means, like,
are
that's the
people who
sinking-
will buy a console for that game,
Yeah,
and then now they
absolutely.
own a console, and they'll be like, "Oh, what's this Gran Turismo
Yes.
thing?" Or
Yeah.
"What's this?"
So all these analysts were like, oh, that'll bring the whole industry back up. We'll be back. And it's like, just make GTA 6 come out. But Yeah, I think that was a lot of my discussion of like, is the console wars over? I think traditionally what it was is coming to an end if it's not done already. But I don't know what's next. Like Nintendo's the only one that's like really, on its own path. That's always been on its own path.
If there's
the
no
longest time.
Xbox, does PlayStation, Nintendo continue to just kind of not even pay attention to each other?
I don't know. I don't know what happens with that. I think Xbox might have another box in the works, but them releasing stuff on PlayStation makes people rightfully so because people are like, I don't get it.
At a dumb time, they finally have games.
Yes.
Avowed and Indiana Jones.
I was cracking up. I was like,
They finally have games.
I'm playing Indiana Jones going, oh my gosh, this is an amazing Microsoft exclusive. And I'm like, it took you like 10 years to get to this point. Just keep pushing a little bit further, you know what I mean? But I don't know, maybe they...
Brother, I'm here for the ride, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for, and I'm okay with it.
But we will see. Is the console wars over? You let us know. But I think that's our podcast.
This is it.
Our 100th podcast.
is.
Anything that we need to talk about? I mean, we rehashed every fight we've had through 100 podcast.
Therapy?
Was there anything that like, anything we didn't talk about? Anything that's...
We did new Backlog Bros episode. We did
Yeah.
Time Machine episode.
We did an amazing...
Hangouts.
today was really freaking fun.
This was a
This is
very
the most fun
day.
thing I think we've done with the channel.
Definitely the
No
most
way.
fun thing we've done in a long time.
You slept
Same,
on
yesterday.
channel.
I slept for. I
Slept
don't
on
even think I
channel.
slept for more than 15 minutes, but yeah.
It was more than that, but
What?
maybe not.
Really?
Maybe not more.
You
than like
also
45.
were talking. You were like speaking
Yeah.
in riddles back there. Did you
You're
hear?
giving us some vintage Jacob Ware.
Big shout out to AOI.
Yeah.
We've had several people in here with us a lot of the day. Payne. We've had a bunch of people in here.
Shout
Yeah.
out to Trent Phelps.
Yeah.
Trent Fells.
Yeah, Trent.
Thank you guys for stopping by. But oh my gosh, I think it's. Well, we said we were gonna go to 10. It's 9:30.
I'm okay with us being done.
No, there's no way. We said 10 to 10.
God,
So
we suck
what?
as
What do you think we should do?
I'm sorry, I just read
What?
Brent's comment.
What do
What
you?
Brent said.
What
He
do you
said
think
the
we
comment
should
section
do
was
to fill that 30 minutes?
Wait, what?
What do you do? What do you think we fill that last 30 minutes with?
How many people are standing here right now?
What do you want to do?
I want to see if you guys take my acorns.
Do you want to do the acorns
Excuse
thing?
me?
I don't.
These two haven't tried
They
to
haven't
take my
tried it yet.
acorns.
Do you want? He puts on the headset and then he tries to grab our nuts.
Do we call it a podcast and then do some multiplayer
We
stuff?
try to steal his nuts.
I will
Yeah, we
do.
can do
I
that.
will do that one time and then I'm done.
Because we'll have to call the podcast at a certain point to post that later.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that.
All right.
And we'll do some multiplayer stuff.
Okay.
Scene.
We well, hold on.
Oh,
We
yeah,
appreciate all of you very
Yes.
much. We did 100 episodes of this show so far, and
Oh yeah, we'll be back.
we
in
will
the
be
summer.
back.
We're gonna.
This
try
was
to-
energizing today, I think.
I think so. It's
I
really
think we
interesting.
should. When we come back, I think we should do live.
You want my opinion? Go live.
I think we should do live.
Do
this
all- do
has
live.
a better energy.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
We could be.
Oh,
Saturday
we are.
we could be
yeah.
our own version of that.
Of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
It's Saturday night with Jacob.
Hi.
And then we all can be in different Oculus headset. That is the new era. We're not even like paying attention to
We're
each
in the
other.
metaverse.
The podcast where no one's paying attention to each other. Sounds like every other
I
podcast.
said you missed game music covers.
We did not show any of the game music covers, and we didn't talk about it. But yes,
Oh yeah.
we did a bunch of game music covers. Thank you, AOI, for the Dweeb show.
Yes.
And earlier in the stream, you had that queued up to show some of that stuff.
Yeah.
We actually have Alex, who was a star in a couple of them.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
Kenny,
we went through the bloopers. Oh, you
Really
were
all of
watching.
you
I think
guys.
you were watching in the chat.
Dude, the blue.
Those were fun,
we were
and
about
I will
laughing.
say, Zach and I have been chatting because we've been doing a lot of music stuff together.
yeah.
Not game covers, but I think we're gonna do some one-off game covers.
I think I want to talk about Dweeb season 2. Not doing it, but talking about it. So we talked about in the bloopers thing about how that was. You look so freaked out. It's not.
Okay.
He was like, no freaking way. We were watching the bloopers. I talked about how that was a moment of like, that's why I ended up making my own movie and stuff and financing that and figuring that out how to pay people to do that was. There was that scene with with Greg's friend or whatever that helped with making Dweebs. And it was a moment of like, he had to do 25 takes or 30 takes. It wasn't any of his fault. It was my stupid butt, like saying, let's just get all friends that are not actors to like do what is in my head. And it's like, we're not really I'm not equipped to do that. But all that to say, like, you know, as fun as that was, it was a learning moment. It was like, maybe need to step away from this. But I did write out Dweeb Season 2. And I don't think we'll ever do that, but I do have like what was going to happen to these characters and that stuff. And in that was the music, the video game covers.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we will take from that and pull from that as something that's possible, is those video game covers. I think they're really cool, like things and ideals and stuff to do.
Cool songs that would
Cool
be fun to
songs that I think
redo.
would be fun to do. And that's something we're going to look into and doing, because I think if you look at the channel, people really loved when we split those out from Dweebs and showed like the game covers and stuff. So that will be something we grab from Season 2 that you'll never see, because it's just not happening.
Not happening.
It's funny. It's the second thing in my life, like creatively, I've put a to be continued on, because I put to be continued on Gas Expensive, that movie that I
Yeah.
did a movie or whatever, and I was like to be continued at the end or something more. And then same thing with this. And it's like I learned with my new feature films, like there's not, I'm not doing to be. It ended like the end of that, and there's credits and stuff. But you learn, you live and you learn. But you want to do nuts to end this?
I'm not doing nuts.
You're not
What do you
doing
mean?
nuts?
I'm not trying to.
No, no, no.
It's-
I got
it's
plenty
a-
of Jacob's nuts
down-
earlier.
Download an app. It's a game that pairs with a VR headset.
He kept calling it acorns, and it was alcorns.
It's what's it called?
Alcrons.
Alcrons.
We'll do one game of
Yeah, I think I
alcorns.
might-
You? Oh my gosh!
Oh
you
no,
wanna
no,
play-
no, no! Just
I don't think I want to do it either.
No alcorns.
why?
I'll watch you do it.
You grab.
No, that's not fun.
His nuts. You go up to him and you grab his nuts.
What's stopping me from doing that now? Well, I don't know.
That's so.
You grab his nuts, and then he has to grab them back from you, and he throws like his weed balls. He has weed balls he throws at you.
You're making it sound way more crazy than what it really
Now
is.
we can't show it because
Is that how that white spot got on the floor?
yeah,
right
there's
there?
a mystery white spot on the
No,
ground.
it's okay.
that
We don't have to. I was just making a joke. Unless
Yeah.
you guys want to play a game together, and then I'm like, I can play that together. But I'm also okay with being like, guys, happy 100.
Happy 100.
Well, the stream will end at 10 o'clock, even if we just sit here and don't do anything. for
We
us
could
30
sit-
Let's sit
You
and
wanna
stare at the camera.
Can
for
we
30
stare and
minutes.
some people keep joining it? It'd be like 6, 5, 6, 5.
I saw a concert recently.
Our
where
goal
the
was to
guy-
go 10 to 10, so we do have to stay live. The podcast is over. Thank you.
Thank you for joining the podcast. I'm standing up.
But the last, we have to go to 10. As a
What
stream.
if I like strum my guitar and we like make a song?
Yeah, just go
Make a
get your
song?
guitar.
I have
Get your guitar.
I'm packing my stuff up.
You have to sing, dude.
I have to sing. I'm dog tired. Oh my gosh. Dude. I'm so tired.
Bring me that guitar.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one. Right out of the last one.
Oh, everybody's gonna be playing that on TikTok and
Let me see that thing.
Hold on.
What song?
Take on Me.
Yeah.
I was like, if you are a TikTok artist, learn Take on Me on acoustic and learn the Pearl Jam song, If I Ever Were to Lose You, because those songs are going to be all over the freaking
Yeah,
planet
they
in
are.
2 months. It is, yeah.
They are.
Those are going to be everywhere.
But I saw a poster, a Pearl Jam poster in the music store in that game.
Oh yeah.
So that's making more sense the whole time.
Have you gotten to any of the parts where you can play guitar yet?
Yes.
Oh, those are so fun.
That's what we were
I spent
talking
a lot of time.
That's what we were talking about.
Started at 10,
Get a mic, guys.
played our game, and Jacob showed up. He had his nuts out again. We played our songs.
This is the second song we're calling my nuts.
Bro, you were trying to get us to grab your nuts.
Games. Some say we're cool.
But this is going to be much higher energy.
Yeah, this is like
This is the intro.
Okay.
somber.
Insane.
After a 12-hour stream, you guys are not expected to be out of gas.
So everyone, thank you for 100 podcasts. And if you don't like us, then you can take the bus to hell. It's the DweeBros podcast. Come on. Jacob had to do 5 push-ups, and he wasn't ready. And I want to tell my friends to play the 5 Nights at Freddy's. So I know I love DweeBros podcast.
Some backing vocals. Great,
Alex
Kenny.
joined
I don't know the words.
Just pump,
us,
dude.
He doesn't know the words.
Annie.
I don't. I'm more
Come on, jump in.
You gotta
intrigued
jump
on
in.
how long. Let's harmonize. I'm not even good at harmonizing.
Just lay down a pad with vocals.
A pad.
It's a podcast.
There you go.
I'm thinking.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, I got this.
He's gonna jump in soon. He's thinking of the words. He's gonna swoon.
Keep going.
He is gonna sing with his friends all night. The DweeBros podcast, all his might. He's still freaking thinking.
Here, I got you. I got your
Jacob's coming around the couch.
Oh, he doesn't take off his pants.
He's not a slouch. He's got some words. Here he goes.
All right. To end the podcast, I asked ChatGPT to write a song, and I'm gonna have Zach perform it right now,
Set it on my leg, huh?
because we like to use AI for everything. There you go.
What?
Yeah, I write the scripts.
We started out just finding our way. 1 episode, then 2, and then the weeks slipped by. Through laughter and lessons, the stories we told. Now here we stand, 100 episodes old.
That's good.
Raise a glass and lift your voice. 100 strong, let's rejoice through
think I'm in church
every
now.
word. Through every sound, our voices echo. We stand our ground. The highs and lows, the moments so bright. Late night edits and morning light. Through all the guests, the thoughts we've shared. You've been with us, you've shown you care.
ChatGPT really cooked. Like, kind of cooked right here.
Raise a glass and lift your voice. 100 strong, let's rejoice through every word. Through every sound, our voices echo. We stand our ground. Here's to the memories, here's to the years. The wisdom, the jokes, the triumphs, the tears. With you by our side.
Oh, it's turned all the way down.
Go even higher for your passion.
It's turned
Stoke the fire. Yeah, scroll up a little bit.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be very fun. I would love that. I would be down. I would be down.
Lift your voice.
We could marathon through.
100 strong. Let's rejoice through.
That'd be fun.
every word.
But we should make that happen.
Through every
Fighting game
sound,
night or
our
something, stream it.
voices
I'd do that.
echo. We stand our sound. So here's to the future, the stories untold. With hearts wide open, we're ready to go. 100 behind us and still going strong. Together we journey, onward we belong.
Good job, ChatGPT.
Hey, ChatGPT.
Thank you
Sound like
guys
a
for
theme
watching 100 podcast. Thank you, ChatGPT. Thank you, AI. That is the future of the podcast. We're gonna have them write all of our thoughts from now on.
We had them write a podcast once.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you. Brent said, sounds like Kenny and Jacob in college.
That's
insane.
true.
Thank you, AI. Thank you guys for watching.
That's like clapping.
Thank you guys.
Wait, are we done? 15 minutes early? Are you shutting it down before 10?
Can't end yet.
Well, that's not over.
What are we gonna do for 15 minutes?
What are we doing?
Contractually obligated to finish this 15.
It actually has to go to 10.
Do you guys want to sing me like? Do you want me to sing a song?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, give me the guitar.
Here, do you want me to play for you?
No, I'll sing.
Okay.
I got my own.
Oh, this should be good.
This should be great.
This should be really good.
Yeah, sit right here.
All right, here we go.
I'm gonna need a clip of this later.
It's okay. Yep, this works. This works. Thank you.
How many capos we going this time, Jacob?
I have capo access?
Need a pick?
Yeah, I need a pick. I'm a pick man. I also need a guitar chart.
For what? Bro, you're gonna play everything in G.
You're right. Oh, I haven't played in a while. This is kind of feisty. All right.
Here comes the D chord with the hammer on.
It's like you know me. No, I can't.
Payne Reaver said, "See ya."
No. Jacob learned some new chords.
It sounds like Kenny and Jacob in college. Oh, dude, Jacob, you've leveled up.
Yeah, this is playing E shapes. Did you put a capo on?
You want me to?
Yeah.
I don't know if you sing. Is that tuned?
Yes. Yeah, sing what's in your heart. That's what Zach did.
No, I just want to sing a cover. Can we play a song? When we get DM'd, will this thing get taken down if I sing one song?
I don't think it'll get taken down if you do a cover. I do covers all the time. They don't
I
get
guess that's
taken
fair.
down.
If you do it well enough that we get DMCA'd, I will give you $800.
I don't end it. Oh my gosh. Here, no, don't play this. Do not play. Can you play a song into the roadcast?
Wait.
Yeah.
If you play,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can I
can.
hear it?
If you get his headphones.
Get the headphones.
What are you trying to do?
I need to be able to plug your headphones into the back of the Roadcaster.
I'm going to play the ultimate ending song, and I will sing along to it.
Okay.
I promise.
All right. Will we get DMCA'd?
No, if we get if we get hit by this song, I'll be shocked.
Okay.
And the only reason this song come up the other day is because I watched it. I watched the movie at like 1 a.m. and I found the song.
Okay.
Do I need to connect to it?
So, Roadcaster Pro is now discoverable. Go to your Bluetooth and look for Roadcaster Pro.
Okay.
And then you're going to come sit closer so that I can... Oh, I need the converter. You don't have that, do you? You wouldn't have that.
I mean, I can just play it on my phone and sing it.
It doesn't have regular mic input.
No, it's I need like the part. You know the part that comes with it that you screw on there? That's what it needs.
Guys, we are going to end
I think we got this, Jacob.
with me singing a song because Brent brought it up. And I think it'll be awesome.
I think we can do this. Let's go.
I once sung a song while Kenny's playing in the background. We'll tell you a story. A group of guys, us, when we were traveling, we were talking about how I'm actually traditionally tone deaf. This is in between sets. You know, imagine me, I just sang a song. We just started the concert. And I'm telling a story, and we're about to go to the next song. But what ended up happening was these guys were sitting here, and they were like, Jacob, why don't you sing? And I was like, okay, I will. So we sat down, we went through, and I found a song, and I actually sang the song. And what actually touched me was Travis said, Jacob, that actually didn't sound that bad. And it was in that moment when I was like, oh, wow, we can actually make this happen. Okay. Should I act like I'm in the studio?
Come bring your chair over here.
Oh, okay.
Put this on. We will not hear the music.
Wait,
but-
you won't hear it at all?
No, did you connect to the Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me if you hear it. Press it.
Okay. I can hear myself. Oh, that's crazy.
Sing all out, Jacob.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I hear it.
Okay.
I'm turning it up all the way.
Okay. I can turn it.
fighting for. We got to end this war. We should love one another. Oh, can we just pretend this war never began? We can try, brother, my brother. Yeah. We face each other from different sides. The anger burns, can't remember why. It's kinda crazy to cause such pain. Our foolish pride makes us hit this way. We watch our world fall apart. Tell me what good is winning when you lose your heart. Brother, my brother, tell me what are we fighting for? Isn't life worth so much more? Should love one another. Oh, can't we just pretend this war never began? Tell me why, brother, my brother. Yes, we can try, brother, my brother. Yeah. Let's take a moment and look deep inside and say we're willing to give love a try. We're not as different as we seem to be. There's so much more to me than what you see. It don't have to be this way. Think about the consequences and turn around and walk away. Brother, my brother, tell me what are we fighting for? Isn't life worth so much more? We should love one another. Oh, can't we just pretend this war never began? Tell me why, brother, my brother. Yeah, tell me why, brother. Isn't life worth so much more?
Thank you guys. Thank you very much.
No one could hear you that whole time.
Really? What? Hey,
hear him.
no, go back. We want to hear the professional.
Was loud.
Oh, I thought that was phenomenal, man. I killed that.
Good. You did great.
Like, I thought that was like just amazing.
I hear it.
Yeah, he's in there.
okay.
The song was just loud.
All right,
But
all right.
Trey
After
said
that,
we can't hear Jacob.
That's
Brett
okay.
said I'm slapping Jacob for trying this.
hey, I hope.
Trey said, "What is this production?" Adam said, "Yeah, we can't
Who
hear."
just
it."
said rip ears? I love it. Hey, I love this.
you gotta do one more song where they can hear you a little better. Just
I don't
pick
want to sing another song. I just gave it my all. I just gave it my all there.
Sure.
I'm positive. What's another song we can sing? And plus, I'm done.
You did great.
Good job, Jacob.
All right, guys. Awesome.
Great
awesome
job.
experience. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm leaving.
Well, no, you can't. It's 7 minutes.
Dude, come
7 minutes, Jacob.
I mean, you have to talk.
Why?
We have to talk about stuff for tomorrow. Not on stream.
What do you guys want to talk about? Ask us anything and we'll have to answer.
We
it.
have to answer. You can ask us any
Truth or
question.
dare, only truth.
Only truth.
Only 100% honesty. Like,
The stream ends in 6.5 minutes to get the
share.
questions in.
I love AOI. Rest in peace, ears, as he was like yelling.
text saying one more.
One more,
I'm gonna
Jacob.
encore.
Jacob, you got to
I
do
don't
an
wanna sing
encore.
another song.
One more.
What's
Come
another
on.
song I can sing?
You can sing
what
anything.
was
That's
that John Mayer song that me and Travis were saying you were tone deaf and you busted it out in the car in perfect tone?
Was it John Mayer? I thought it was
It
John
was,
Legend.
it was John Mayer.
AOI said,
No, it was John Legend. It was all of me.
AOI said song was awesome, just way too loud in the beginning. Hope it didn't wake up the neighbors. And by
Okay.
neighbors, did you mean my baby?
we
that's
slide
sleeping
the we
upstairs?
slided the audio down. There's got to be one more song, Jacob.
John Legend.
Why would I sing a love song on the stream?
There's got to be something hype. Something
What's
hype.
Hold on,
You be
what's
talking to Zach. What would I do without your smart mouth?
What would I do without your smart mouth?
No, my voice is shot. To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure Maya's so ashamed of me right now.
Don't be ashamed of him.
Why be ashamed? You're doing great.
Don't be ashamed. Oh no. Please don't be ashamed of him.
We got killed, dude.
I could play our song and you could sing it.
Don't be ashamed.
No, it's not really.
Then we'll really get
Time's up.
DMCA'd. Brent said, who did you vote for?
Hey, he said tell the truth.
I voted for Kamala.
There we go.
I really did.
Say the truth.
I voted for
All
my
right,
dog.
I've got to tell the truth, and here it is. I voted for.
You guys are-
I voted for who made Last of Us? Neil Druckmann.
You really did?
Yeah, I put his name in. Yeah.
I wrote down my dog Scout.
I can't believe you voted for your dog.
I voted in all the local stuff, but for presidential, I voted for my dog Scout.
What's another question you want to ask?
What else is out there?
Who asked that? Brent?
Brent and Trent.
Don't miss your opportunity.
Don't
You
miss
guys
your
got us on the
opportunities.
hook.
Yeah, for real. We actually are stuck
We have
here.
5 minutes left.
Is it 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm about to drink a Monster on the way home.
I didn't think we'd have even more time, but here we are.
You guys ever? Never mind. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say.
What are you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna bring up. No, never mind. Nope.
Do you know any video game songs on the guitar?
Yeah,
Either?
that'd be fun.
Play Slayer.
I know Duke Nukem, but
Dude, Nukem.
probably wouldn't sound great on the acoustic guitar.
What about Doom? Any Doom?
You know we could have killed all this time by you guys just grabbing my nuts
Nah, that's more Astro Pub, is that?
Boom. I mean, it's the same thing, isn't it?
It's close.
in the game, not in real life.
I'd have to.
Boom, dum, 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 dum.
Burn out and burn out and burn.
Do you guys remember when you guys used to do this on PlayStation? When they had that PlayStation Party thing?
Yeah, that's what this is.
That's
We
what it
just are
feels
missing
like.
the little
This
bots.
is PlayStation Party.
Where's the little Astrobots at?
Yeah, like make them.
All right, the people are letting us off the hook.
Well,
No questions.
People are letting us off the hook. We can stop now. 4 minutes to
We
go.
have to stop at 10, but
We're stopping at 10.
Okay.
can I ask what contract we signed to get us stay to 10?
we just
The thing
our
where you put on the
word.
video.
We just said we'd go 10 to 10.
Yeah. we said
Because
10
10
to
times 10 is 100. If we
Wait a
don't,
minute, I
if we
came-
go 10 to 9.57, we're not at
Yeah.
100, Jacob.
Oh, but brother, I came late.
Oh, we know you should stay late.
Yeah,
but
actually, you actually need to stay later than
Here,
that.
okay, here, I'll stay late. Move. I'll stay late right now. Start now.
What do
You
you?
have to stay. You have to be on screen 10 hours.
I'll start
Means
giving
I gotta
incredibly-
stay here.
Brent says Lost only has 3 good seasons.
Oh.
After that, it goes downhill fast. Well, Brent, welcome to the band club from the chat.
Mods.
Mods, chat. What's going on, chat? What's Kai Sanat doing? I bet he hasn't streamed 10 hours.
No, he's never done
He's
this.
never done that.
I've seen that dude sleep. He streamed like 24
So
hours
did
straight.
Jacob. Jacob slept on
We
stream.
did sleep.
We thought about doing a 100-hour stream for this, but I have a daughter. I can't do it. We have kids now.
Do you think we could do a 24-hour stream?
No.
Yeah, we could.
We could probably get.
Remember
that to work.
30-hour famine I was telling you about?
No.
Hey, that streamer that I watched on TikTok, he did a 70-something hour subscriber stream, and he's like sitting in his game chair sleeping, and people were using talk to stream and making it say nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. He's just sleeping. You just see this guy on live, conked out, and he's nightmare,
Nightmare.
nightmare, nightmare.
AOI said, question for Zach, what is 100 in binary code? That's a question for Alex, not a question for me.
Oh wait, I'm still connected to the
I need a piece
podcast.
of paper
Oh,
so I can look
oopsie.
it up.
You're still connected to the podcast?
I actually.
I hope you
played-
didn't
I
open
played a
up-
video
Oh, gosh.
of me singing, but with no words. Guys, we're cooked.
It was an echo.
There's an echo.
No, it's not. No, I just.
2 minutes.
This feels like New Year's.
It does.
Oh, I can't sing. Why'd you guys let me do that?
You
Well,
did,
no one could hear you, so
you did great.
Man, it's
it was the vocal inflections for me.
The
that
problem
really,
was like in my ears, I sounded so in tune.
the accents you were using, like the
They were spot on, right?
you were just like, you were so aggressive. You were like, what are we fighting for?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you were trying to be like
good
Michael
energy.
Jackson.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
Uh-oh, 10.
We're at that point, aren't we?
Oh, guys, almost at the 30-second marker.
I got enough gear on my head.
I'm gonna stab myself at 10.
Okay, guys, I'll hear.
Hey, I've got some crazy surround sound going on with this thing on my head. The sound waves
here
are
we
like
go.
carrying back
Get
through the
ready.
balloon.
10, 9,
ready
8,
to kill this.
7, 6, 5,
Alright.
4,
He's messing with
3,
us.
2, 1. Happy 100.
Hey, did you hold those scissors the right way?
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the gift
Hold
of
on,
your
let me read in
viewership.
the helium that we definitely had in this.
Brother, we're going over our contract.
Thank you for watching the stream. This has been a really good stream, and I really love everybody that watched the stream. And now we're gonna go to Happy 30.
30 podcast. Thank you.